All right, June 6, 2021. As I captured the state's fake sun, 8FFE340, 7UTF 864, 7J96125. They're crossing path at Transit and Holt, where I am, and they are meeting the people of the state of California who are monitoring and facilitating the state's criminal targeting system, 4URZ608. And as I have captured, let me be clear, what I captured in the pictures, the state's directed light at this time yesterday, at this time yesterday when I'm already inside of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, the state is acting as though, because of its directed light, that the sun is directly over the library, even though I have captured it over me before I'm inside of the library. But as I'm inside of the library, you have what is directed light onto the side of the elevator, and it remains inside of that space where the staircase is for pretty much a large chunk of the day, as the state engages in acting as though the sun is over the library all day long, and that is just sunlight that's remaining at that staircase, moving all around. If that is the actual case, that is also another demonstration as to how this is not the sun that's over me. I'm just making the point over and over and over again, everything that you're looking at, which is the ongoing evidence, and it is direct evidence against 7U04740, 6VCN585, as they are monitoring with the state. That's why it's using a fake sun and stalking with light. Understand they are sex offenders in this regard as well. 8TKB422, molesting with the government, AP, that's the number 8, PXX330. Molesting with the state, that is stalking with a light source for a criminal purpose for monitoring, R474XO. They're all sex offenders. All right, in addition to the fact that they like to listen to you undress and use the bathroom and touch your person, they're sex offenders. 8UUZ436, 7VFB 698, 5LRP 525, 8DVD, let me see, 8DVV 874. This is 7HYN 055. It is 11:09 a.m. And again, I have already captured at this time, just yesterday, let me get this license, 18858N2. The state's fake sun is supposed to be already over BNG Plaza, right? So 7TNM806, 6HBX011, 8CMT734, acting with a group stalker that's crossing path on a bike. Everything that they're doing under the state's fake sun creates light activity. It's absolutely intentional conduct. That's why you stalk with a fake sun. And that is not reasonably questioned at all. That is established, and that the state is stalking directly by planes and helicopters, police, fire, and ambulance is already established. This is the people that are going to be prosecuted. This is license plate, including Omnitrans. This is license plate 6LKS989. That's the Ontario Fire Department crossing path, driving west on Holt Boulevard right now, and a red pickup truck. That's a battalion. That's the state acting directly. At 11:10 a.m. License plate for VXV, I can't really see that one. Can you try that? Let's get 5SVH700, 6KWX000, 616, 8AN2, 3FGD183, 7NZU475, 63265Y1, 8FGC287, 8ENH886, 5CVF213, 8BHJ625. They are also assaulting with light. Understand, as they are crossing path, the state is creating light, directed light on the asphalt, which is not occurring when you are underneath. Even if that was the sun, light is not streaming what is east toward me while they're crossing path. 8FHZ046, that's an assault with light. 8PBX724, and that's the state creating audible activity while group stalker with license plate 14629R1 is in the path. 8SFC673. That's Amazon Prime flying right over me where I'm standing at Transit and Holt, monitoring with 5GYW271 and Omnitrans. 6KVY991. Omnitrans is in relevant position, loitering in relevant position, creating light activity, monitoring with the rest of these minions that I'm documenting. That is 6WAJ625. And you're going to pay attention to the targeting conduct of Amazon Prime as I am documenting, let me get license plate 7EEA 412, you can scratch that, I can't really see that. As I am documenting City of Ontario engaged in group stalking at that location where the senior center is, as I'm walking toward the Page 1 Cafe on the backside of the library, Amazon Prime is no longer flying over what is over here or flying over. It's very targeted where they are. It's over me. That's how, when I'm walking north, that's why they migrate north in the planes, to keep in alignment to me as they're crossing path in airplanes. That's why Amazon Prime flew right now as I am reciting the fact that the people are engaged in an assault as they're monitoring in concert with the state. That's nothing but audible activity. And who's going to get that? I'm going to identify 8VJD577. Okay? They're one group. 4Z KN722, 7PNA 241, 8 TSA 523, 8 PO 9520, 76277C2, 8 GNV 094, 4K MX 236, 8 SRE 417. 8, that's a paper plate. Says BP19F07, 79550A1, 5Z CG 293, 7ZHH 528, 30196N2, 5HL, let's see, 5HL Z 479, 8NKA 958, 33276U2. I think I read that one already. 7XRD 110. Here we go, 5MUZ 982. So, like I said, you're understanding how they are one. They're one actor. The people of the state are one. They are actually one as they are vicariously acting in concert with the state. This is direct conduct and vicarious conduct that I'm documenting. Okay, and so when I'm speaking to what is an assault with light, which is also shown through what is impossible light activity because it's not naturally occurring, and that's intentional conduct, at 4UVM712, okay, and Amazon Prime flies over my head, understand that that is also speaking to what is actually occurring. I don't have to exaggerate. I've shown you the demonic light activity, okay? When Omnitrans drives by and assaults with the light, when Omnitrans drives by and molests with light, and now understand what that actually is, 8JST391. That is actually Omnitrans is driving by. That vehicle and those demon-possessed freaks who are stalking with nothing but an Omnitrans company brand vehicle do not have the ability to shoot light like that. That's the state with its light trickery at the same time that the third party crosses path. 7KCB160, 6BLK660. That's concerted conduct. 8ULU486, 8PBD200, 8TAF262. And so this is the concerted conduct. In the same way, when they want to drive by and amplify the sound, guess what? They're one group. The minion that's right here in front of my face is going to be identified as engaging in that conduct. That's what group stalking is. And this is what they do on a constant basis. Prosecute themselves. 6Z99292. CDANSKI. 7KTM871. While, mind you, the state's fake sun is directly right over my head. 8EES598, where I stand at the intersection of Transit and Holt. 08177B1, 03625B1, 7TWZ501, 6GTL833, T23, like a heart, and 29A, 8GKJ042. Omnitrans creating audible activity, 6MYN075. Omnitrans is crossing path now after loitering in relevant position and creating light activity, monitoring with me, in other words, assaulting. All right, Omnitrans is engaged in assault, and Omnitrans is engaged in that ongoing threatening conduct, acting with Amazon Prime and every other third-party group stalker as the people of the state fly over my head while I'm standing under this fake sun. AMR, group stalker, I already know this. Crossing path with every other third-party group stalker at 11:16 a.m. proceeding south on Euclid Avenue. License plate, AXFJ907, 7RMC348, 8MWA925, 7LJV140, 7XYM566, 50153Z2, 7WKU 155, 7KO2514, 26964X1, 8UWM 233, 5XSW757, 7JGW200, 5MFE 174. Here's more audible activity that 15148L2 is monitoring too. And they're all threatening together while the state stalks with airplanes. 7NKW833. This is what happens when you monitor with the government. 5BBL403. And that is Delta Airlines. 5TRK704. The people of the state flying over my head, the people of the state patrolling like the demons they are in vehicle. 8TNG158, 6FGR126, 9529, that's a Wyoming license plate, 6YXW710, 8MTE192, 8FCV593. P.O.C, they're patrolling in the airspace, patrolling all around me in traffic. And they are monitoring while they are stationary in relevant position in the building. 6KAW881. All right, they're in the buildings, in whatever building that they work in or wherever they live, they're in relevant position to me and they're monitoring as well. 6KSZ987. This is why the state uses something as universal as a fake sun to maintain a fishbowl. This is why the state uses something as universal as an airplane and helicopter, an amplification of audible activity, while it is stalking in those incredible manners. Okay? That's P.O.C. It is 11:18 a.m. Omnitrans, third-party group stalkers. V2NSOUL THEBROH 21W8695. Alrighty, 10461U2, 8VF023, 8VIU692, 26428N2, 8VIU692. The people of the state monitoring to that activity. Those are three motorcyclers who I got those pictures of their license plates. Understand those are the manners with which the people of the state engage in malicious conduct. And understand malicious is interchangeable with demonic because this is demonic. And this is how they are able to engage in demonic activity in your face. And you're just thinking that you're looking at people who are blasting their music. Not where the state is monitoring, okay? It's a means of monitoring. And that's identification of demonic activity under what is a fake sun. 7DOC 742. And Satan thinking that they're cool. There's nothing cool about monitoring and stalking at all. 8RYV360, especially being prosecuted and shown to be a demon-possessed freak stalker and sex offender, because that's what's coming. 8FSP441, 6GTR971, 7DOC742, 8TIJ749, 8VVV918, 5XXG858. Okay, and understand, as I move from the corner of Transit and HOLT, the state's fake sun is no longer at the corner over my head. It's right here where I stand on the opposite side of 150 East HOLT. Very specific as to the state's location of its fake sun, because these demons are stalking and monitoring. That goes directly to what the people are doing in relevant position, facilitating the state's criminal system. All right, and this is how you prosecute them. 7KCJ258, 7BAR370, assaulting with light. All right, as they're doing that, everything that they do has legal relevance. Everything that they do, that's an assault with light while the state provides ongoing audible activity. 5XXR486, 5SZR030, 8DVS654, 8CQS604, 4466382. The state flies over the museum, maintains relevant position by turning what is to fly south to remain in alignment to me. 8CQS604, 8HIL665, 8ROV328. It is 11:22 a.m. And license plates of the sex offenders on motorcycles, also seen on traffic cameras. This is V2NSOUL. License plate THEBROH. And license plate 21W8695. Those are motorcycles. Those are the ones that were creating the loud soundtrack for the providing, understand it's just like the state sounding plane activity. It's another method of activity. Everything that you can hear is serving that. Plus the state is amplifying it. Yeah, that's THEBROH. The bruh that's going to be prosecuted. All right? Nothing cute, nothing cool about the bruh. 64590T2. 8UVK709, Omnitrans, Amazon Prime, driving past and flying over my head and assaulting with light, P.O.C. This is license plate 7Z7384T, 6WCM169, 7SHS443, BG32Y35. That's a paper plate on a blue Chevy. All right. This is license plate 7RUB527. This is a black Escalade. I'll get that in a minute. This is 5UBR047, and the black Escalade license plate is 8DMY408. Amazon Prime, that's vehicle number 370428, and license plate on Amazon Prime is 10751B as in boy 3. P.O.C. Understand these commercial actors, just like the people of the state. They are the people of the state in nothing but a commercial vehicle. The same psychopaths that know they're being documented. That's coloring the conduct, all right? And that brand, that company to be identified as such, 8BYT929. That same deliberate, that same intentional conduct, you're applying it to that commercial brand. 7MYR611, all right? That's a psychopath. Monitoring with 8RER179. They're one group. Escaping nothing. They're sex offenders. Escaping nothing. Okay? Escaping absolutely nothing. They're cowards. And finally getting that which they deserve, and more so. Okay? This is a very long time coming and showing what is satanic conduct by a people monitoring American citizens. 59055M2. And understand, monitoring is just the cusp of it. All right, this is what is providing federal question jurisdiction. The people are sex offenders. They're engaged in kidnapping. They're engaged in the deprivation of the lifestyle that you rightfully have earned and deserve. Okay, I'm not just speaking for myself or any other ordinary target individual who had no weaponry in order to combat what the state was bringing against them. 8FXH816. 7UWS546. Everything that the state has done is a matter of documentation in my situation. And the people of the state are going to personally pay for it, and they shall suffer the criminal consequences for it. 7PQZ082. Because you certainly don't get to kidnap and sexually violate on a systematic basis and get away with it because you want to do it in the form of a group, which is supposed to be some genius conspiracy by a government. I don't think so. 7XSD128, 7JUL712, audible activity by 7UUV731, who's creating light activity. This sex offender is monitoring. License 4ZAP396, Amazon Prime. This is satanic conduct by the brand as you identify them. License 0034U2 wants me to focus on them. All right, that's also, but it's also criminal monitoring. That's a psychopath in a commercial vehicle. 4FVU727, and also Hertz. Understand where I captured Amazon Prime and they were driving around in Hertz vehicles? Understand that? That's a Hertz vehicle right now. That's the brand that's going to be engaging in the state's pattern of conduct. License plate DS863, handicap. 6TR491, I believe. 7FWP402, 7RAV225. 4YDR356. 8URE271. Amazon Prime doing nothing but punctuating the fact that it is engaged in sexual molestation and engaging in an assault while you're monitoring and representing the government, doing so under the malicious guise of a company brand. This is all intentional conduct while Amazon Prime is flying over my head, assaulting with light in concert with the government, facilitating that criminal targeting system while mindful in real time of the documentation about its participation, engaging in the ongoing P.O.C. The fact that they are, this is just like the Ontario Police Department. This is monitoring. It's already established. This is the impossibility of what is the actual sun. That is not the sun, and that's already established. Their conduct is absolutely with real-time knowledge. That's coloring the conduct. It's in no way suggesting that they're ignorant about what's being documented. They already know, and I've already demonstrated that through the documentation as well. So you're talking about what's a psychopath. 6DMN157. 8MZS019, 7559, 3L2. And I'm going to tell you what else. Companies like that are engaging in the state system, the way that you hurt them is through their pockets, okay? Because that's all that they're concerned about. And that's the reality of that company. Oh, here we go. Ontario Police, 1510634, audible activity under Southwest Airlines, monitoring, 1871. They're monitoring. That's P.O.C. while Southwest Airlines flies over my head. While the psychopath listens to me document it. Okay? This is 75593L2. And Southwest Airlines over my head monitoring with the state that represented by Ontario Police Department. Again, 1510634. LINKC. You also want to pay attention to the timing that they're engaging in it. When they're listening to what's coming, Amazon Prime, every other commercial actor, they're going to be hurt in their pockets. Those who are responsible for this brand engaging in this criminal system of monitoring, which is not a secret. I'm just revealing the secret. And then the state crosses path by Ontario Police. That's also representing a threat. All right. 7XTN 773. And then honking when they already know they're here to engage in monitoring. Not because I'm in the way and they're trying to drive past. That, understand, it's all the criminal element. 6SFZ 305. That's intentional conduct. That's also communication of a threat, which the people are engaging in. All right. 7CPF 453. 7SRL 585. No license plate on this old raggedy Toyota Camry. 5AAK 525. You think that they don't know they're being documented? They do. 6VGG 873. All right, that's a sex offender. That is the police department. I've already shown that, not only through literal conduct, okay, and they're kidnappers. I've documented this, but they're sex offenders. The state is molesting with a light source. The state is assaulting with light, and then Ontario Police in relevant position. Understand, they only did that in visual presence. They're group stalking around corners where I cannot see them. They're stalkers in that regard. Documented conduct, and they're always stalking in relevant position. The people are the face that the government wears to maintain relative visual presence, because this is supposed to be the guise in which they're able to monitor, and you're not aware of it ordinarily. All right, so that's intentional conduct every which way you look at it. In addition to the fact Ontario Police crosses path while the state's fake sun is right over my head. 43604Y2, 7CKR594, 6XFP304. And that was Southwest Airlines monitoring and threatening with the Ontario Police Department. 7LDN553. And understand that this is just the documentation as I'm getting it moment by moment right now. The whole totality of that picture, the people of the state in general, acting in their individual capacities for the benefit of for the criminal benefit of the group. Also in their capacities as they have with any commercial brand that they use. The guise, in other words, that they're engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct. 8GNW922, which they shall pay. They're going to pay for that. I don't only mean the criminal conduct, but you hurt them in their pockets while they want to benefit off of American society, American consumers, while they want to monitor you and threaten and molest you. All right. The 5DNZ 902. That's how you get to those criminal actors that wear commercial brands and want to monitor American citizens and threaten with the state while they're aware that you're documenting it. 8JLU 871. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. 5FJS 508, 5GUL 279, 7STB 758, 6WWY 607, Omnitrans crossing path, license 98488 N2, 6MBW 524, 6WRY 607. What I was pointing out is, again, Ontario Police comes out of the darkness, meaning hiding around the corners where they've maintained presence. They're present right now, okay? They're stalkers, 7YPZ500. They come out invisibly and cross path in order to communicate a threat. They're always stalking. The state is monitoring, and Ontario Police are a prime aspect of that, 7GQK905. So understand the intent behind that conduct. Okay, they come out to pose a threat at the same time that Southwest Airlines flies over my head. At the moment that I am speaking to the fact that the commercial actors shall be personally, all right, they shall suffer financially on a grander scale. Okay, in addition to that, criminal prosecutions, 7VXM103. You do not engage, you shall not engage in monitoring American citizens and then representing yourself as some benefit to society because you're giving away free food for COVID-19, right? But you're a psychopath. Your employees, those working for that company, as I have shown in the documentation, the demonic activity of those driving around in these Amazon Prime vehicles, flying over my head in these Amazon Prime airplanes, engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct, which also happens to be satanic, all right, while they do so pursuant to the same behavioral pattern, 5REY748, right, acting with the state, posing that threat, you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that. 5JXW185, and that's how you hurt them. And that's why Ontario Police drives past at that moment. You're not only are you looking at what are the elements. Yes, they're monitoring. Look at when they are doing it, okay? Assault with light, license plate 8TON482, 6AXN960, 8CZD574. All right, and that's intentional conduct. They're honking, they're creating audible activity. License 7ATT681, and doing so as I'm walking, right? And the state is flying over as well. The state is always stalking by airplanes. 93215L1, 8MZL510, 8SPP173. Yeah, the Ontario Police, that's the sex offender, that's the kidnapper, that's the one that likes to threaten, that's the one that has issues hiding around in dark corners and likes to come out and threaten, come out from the darkness where they're hiding all the time. 8NRE572, they have issues with sitting around. Their sex offenders like to listen to me undress. They like to listen to that. Their sex offenders wearing police uniforms, all right? 2758072, and because they have engaged in several criminal acts of kidnapping while they are engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, they're going to federal prison, all right? And they're going in straitjackets. 8TIU985. They're going, and they are engaging in ongoing criminal conduct and facilitation of criminal conduct by the people. 7LYF445. And by the way, that's who Amazon Prime, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, Omnitrans, they're all akin to that conduct. That's the real identity of the people of the state. 8HAD493. That's who they are criminally acting with. That's the real identity of them. Okay? That's P.O.C. 7PDG571. So let's point out something else. 5GUV229 monitoring while the state is flying over the museum. Why? Because I'm over here by the museum. 2485 9R2. 8VCW781. 7EQA213. 8DJS 8DJS763. 5PRT098. 42645Y1. 5AAK736. It's 11:34 a.m. State's fake sun again, no longer over by, I moved closer to the 150 East HOLT. It's right here over my head where I go back toward the corner. 8CIB401. All right, the state's fake sun moving over my head as I move. Demonic activity, directed light underneath the car while they're in traffic. There is no position of the sun or the fake sun that establishes that impossible light activity moving under 51892T2. That is an assault. That's an assault with light. They're just racking them up. They're just racking up the federal charges. It's an ongoing crime. Guess what? While the state's molesting with light and you're creating audible activity, you're touching all over me with the state. That's what the people are engaged in. They are a sex offender. I'm just going to name more who are going to be prosecuted for that. I'm just going to name more because that's what's going on right now. The state is keeping its fake sun over my head, and by the way, it's supposed to be over the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, acting as though the sun is over the library, directly over where the window by the elevator is, because that's the explanation for light on the side of the elevator and on the staircase. That's the explanation for that. 7WGN667, 7XDL043. Everything the state does prosecutes the people. It's an idiotic, ill-equipped, woefully unprepared. 8PTA832, 8PCT780, 7VFL508, 6XVD041, 122L10, 939SL, JHOYUKI, 07374C2, 7XVM859, 8UAY226, 64046U1, that's Pepe's towing. 8KNW251, 8SNW032, 31442X1, 8SDC837, 5HQK177, 6HXG954. This is a group stalker patrolling, walking on the sidewalk beside me over here, toward me from the museum, 8CXA112, while Amtrak is creating audible activity for this is about the 20th time Amtrak is used as a means of ongoing audible activity. The actual Amtrak train, by the way, does not run that frequently. That's the state using the means of the train to create audible activity while I sleep outside, while the people of the state are group stalking and monitoring 7UBB 516. But that's going toward the prosecution of Amtrak, a state actor, because the state is using the Amtrak train tracks to engage in criminal conduct. They can fight about it in court about who was actually driving around on the Amtrak train tracks and who wasn't, because the audible activity is captured. 7YAN 754. And also what you're speaking to, in the same way where the state places its fake sun over your property, over your car, over your business, over your home, you're not ignorant of it. And so the use of the Amtrak train tracks is the prosecution of that actor, period, by the way. Just letting you know that's how that works. 8KVY 577. That's the police, Ontario Police, in a large white truck. 445 6C2, substantially similar. 4YRH 111. 7ALJ 227 35 30. I can't really see that. 7LUL 068 8JTBB 831. I can't really see that one. 5HAH 889 8HBZ 786 8TRL 227. Oh, and also let me bring something else to your memory. 8BKW044. I actually documented Amtrak, the vehicle, a large bus, Amtrak bus, crossing path 8UJS 750, and I believe this was on the night of May 5th, 2021, before I returned to Economy Inn. 4XMC 863, not only engaging the criminal elements of monitoring while the state was repeatedly patrolling in helicopter that evening as I was getting all of these minions, license plate. Amtrak engaged in the P.O.C. Amtrak is not ignorant of the fact that its train tracks are being used as a means of monitoring an American citizen, all right? And for sexually molesting an American citizen, because that's what the state is doing. Engaging in the criminal elements and touching all over my body with its criminal instrument for monitoring with communication devices. And you're creating audible activity intentional to monitor. You're a sex offender. All right, you don't have any right to touch and you'll be prosecuted for that. That's the state. That's Amtrak, not ignorant of the fact that it's train tracks, as it also has engaged in the criminal elements of monitoring, as I documented. 5GVR 341 8SNW 295 7386 7R2 7MXU 590. Can't really see that license plate. 8ROD 832. 6HRB 111, yeah. 8RET 904. It is 11:40 a.m. All right, so you hear what I'm capturing on audio. Let me get these license plates. 7KPH841. 5SOU567. 6Z56825. 6ZHD828. 6JQZ682. 7VVP9378. 8KDK752. Did I read this one? 8DCT622, 8LDW207, 5X 00457, 8NIY793, that little peon, 8RPW927, 828, 3222. 6GTK553, 8PNT976, 7NJA892, T609UO, 6R18411, 8NWN323, 5AXR812, 8RXL751, 8CPZ947, 8ETA629, 8RZS332, 8ETR697. Loitering in relevant position where no vehicle, no traffic is stopping them. They're just sitting in the middle of the street at transit. Okay? That's group stalking conduct, especially because I'm on the opposite side of the street. And let me show you what else. The state's fake sun is right over my head across the street. And let me show you the sky space above the car, which is nearest the corner where I was standing. No sun directly over there. It's right here over me where I'm standing on the opposite side of the street. This is how you know what they're doing, right? This is demonic. 8PON120, 6HUX744, AW94X81. That's a paper plate. License plate. 6902042K2, Alvaron Trucking, 7WCD422. 8 EOF 146. Let's see. Did I read this license right? I believe I did, yes. 7WCD422. All right. That's a white male driving that white Mustang that I took a picture of. Group stalking via traffic. 8TOR375. 7YBK275. 8SDP374. 6T45618. 6PDC600. This is an ongoing pathetic maintenance of presence. Understand the state is controlling the traffic lights. Third-party group stalkers are here in order to engage in the criminal elements of relevant positioning and activity creation under the state's fake sun. They are not looking for time in order to get into traffic. They are engaged in ongoing maintenance of activity. It's entirely intentional. All they're doing is monitoring. So they act like, oh, I'm trying to get into traffic. I'm waiting here at the stop sign. No, they're group stalking just like I showed in the video last night where AMR was sitting at the traffic light in alignment to me as I stood on the sidewalk and the state flew over my head in a helicopter. They're group stalking. 8UZY037. And that's how you understand what demonic activity is. It's malicious. It engages in appearing to look as one thing on the outside, the shell, in other words. And they're engaging in an absolutely different and dubious conduct. That's what demonic activity is. 8GZY676, 8GQL135, 8GUC383, 8DDB772, EG2. That's literally 3 characters on the license plate. EG2. 7EMS183, 8SMH787, 8MGC474, 5BA9PA. That's looks like an out-of-state license plate. And now I'm on the opposite side of the street now. The state's fake sun is not over the corner, over Transit and Holt, where I was by the 150 East Holt building. It's on the opposite side of the street over my head now while they are crossing path. That is intentional, all right? That's how you know they're targeting you. Not because they want to act like they're focused on driving and walking around and doing other stuff, because the environment is showing you. This is how you are knowing that's how you know what's occurring, okay? Because a third-party group stalker is going to lie. You're dealing with Satan. All right, demonic activity. 8LWA888. All they're doing is creating audible activity. That's all they do is lie. They have no credibility. 8FO7089, 2189-3W2, 7SIA470, 4LEM933. And it is the absence of coincidence that you have that sort of environment that is focused on where you move and where you go, and you're in the path. That's the revealing of what the people do. 7NWJ579, 6HVD290. The state's targeting conduct with the planes over my head where I am. All right, that is speaking to the fact that they are targeting me. All right, the state's fake sun object, yes, speaking to the fact that they are targeting me. The state's use of its directed light, that is speaking to the fact that they are targeting me. All right, third parties fail. This is how you analyze it. Not only based on the criminal elements of monitoring, you're looking at the environment, which is revealing how they are absolutely targeting you. Demons engage in outwardly conducting themselves like they're doing something else. All right, that's the whole false premise of federal group stalking and monitoring. That's the whole false premise. If you can act like I don't even know you, how can you claim I'm stalking you? That's the false premise that the system relies on. And this is why I have shown every aspect of the system as it exists. 6AUD061. And when I say that these minions are going to regret it, that's exactly what I mean. In Ontario Police Department, they're going to federal prison in straitjackets. And that's sad because the loser doesn't want to accept the fact that they lose, but they lose. And they lose bad. They lose very bad. This is 7YEM666, 8RQF350, 8BOW166, 7F2H240, 8SNG352. State's fake sun back here on the opposite side of the street where I am now, assaulting with light, paper plate AV29Z58. That is a paper, not even a paper plate, it's a piece of paper taped on that truck, a white truck. All right, it says Star Morgan on the back end on the side of it. Morgan spelled M-O-R-G-A-N. 8LPA761. 3VUW649, 8TBF751. This is audible activity while they're all molesting with light. License 24N0709. That's the coward on the motorcycle. P.O.C. 63609E2. They're all molesting together and monitoring to that activity. All right? 8TWF811. They are literally screwing each other. They're not doing any harm to me. I'm doing my job. I'm going to prosecute them. I'm going to drag them. 8BO, oh, I read that one already. 7GGP242. No, it's 7GGP424, excuse me. 46874W1. BDFB847. 8NEW130. 8JMD231. 7URB350. 5VFH736, 7GDE606. All right, P.O.C, group stalker crossing path on the sidewalk. A freak staring at his phone, monitoring under the fake sun that's remaining over my head as I walk on the sidewalk. Okay, so 6CRF489, 8APB054, and it is 11:50 a.m. 6WXL251, 7GXA571. Assaulting with light. So let me be clear. The state's directed light. As they are driving past me, which is crossing path, and as they're all as one group, they're one group that are patrolling. So this is demonic activity, serving the criminal purposes of monitoring with communication devices. Merchants Landscape, California license. I can't see that, but I see their license plate. It's 24977E1. So as they are driving what is north on Euclid Avenue, and the state's fake sun, as I captured it, is over my head while they're driving past me, 7VXV143, you have what is directed light. That's the impossible light activity that is on the side of their vehicles as they are crossing path. That is impossible light activity. 8 Group Stalker 8UTC253. And it has nothing to do with being black. This is not any Black Lives Matter. I'm telling you, that's a narrative, a false narrative for the group stalking and monitoring conduct that the police are engaged in this country. Okay? Those are black faces that are monitoring me in that vehicle, 8UTC253. That's P.O.C. I mean, it has nothing to do with some Black Lives Matter. That's a narrative, by the way. This has nothing to do with your race. It's satanic. It has to do with hell. Okay? Blackface is monitoring. Blackface is engaged in kidnapping. Blackface is engaged in criminal defamation. Blackface is engaged in group stalking and monitoring me. Okay? I am black and my life doesn't matter, but it has nothing to do with that. That's a narrative for suggesting that the police are not engaged in what is monitoring conduct, suggesting that they're doing anything else, and they would rather it be some sort of narrative about race than the reality that they're engaging in satanic monitoring, because it has implications. It means that they're monitoring everyone. That's what it means. It means that they're monitoring everyone. It doesn't have anything to do with your race. So let me just break that down for you. Those black faces that I just saw engaging in the state's satanic monitoring system. That's what it is. Satan doesn't care about your race. Satan distracts the human race with that. That's a distraction. This is Satan. 37682Z1, 66013D2 Spectrum, 6VBD 912, 8PQH 728, LNJ 3375, that's a Texas plate, 7THX 832, Amazon Prime again, assaulting with light in 2 trucks, crossing path, P.O.C. All right, and this is 6LRW 143. LDB 928, I believe, substantially similar. It is 11:53 a.m. Omni Access, that's Omni Trans Vehicle Crossing Path. 8ADG 913, 5PNJ 535. This is 7FKE 499 AV. I can't really see that one. It's a paper plate anyway. Alrighty. 00048M2, 6LYB259, AV08S14 paper plate. And I want to be clear, there are traffic cameras here, which I've already stated. The people of the state specifically acting via Amazon Prime. Let me get this license, 8WKG257 and 7SBG485. Understand, not only is the intent deduced from what I've shown are the criminal elements of monitoring and the unbreakable single group that are the people of the state of California, you're also looking at what is the satanic operation over Amazon Prime. Understand, the people of the state are doing nothing but driving those vehicles and flying those planes. 4VHH322, the same demonic conduct conducted by what is none other than a commercial actor intentionally driving by in 2 vehicles at the same time as they cross path right now under the fake sun, which, by the way, as I also documented at the 60 exit, the 60 freeway exit, where the state's fake sun was directly over me at the end of the day, 55887H1, which is mutually it is incongruent with being over me and remaining, okay, at 150 East Holt, which is where I'm at. How is it ever going to be at that exit as I captured and Amazon Prime was engaged in that criminal monitoring conduct on that day? May 6th is where I captured it. And those satanic, demon-possessed Amazon Prime drivers were engaging in flipping out the middle finger while the state was flying over. I captured all of that, all right? And the impossibility of what is the fake sun right over there at the 60 freeway at the end of the day. That is straight down Euclid Avenue. All the state is doing is moving its fake sun north and south up the street. All right, so like I said, Amazon Prime, I'm going to milk that. Not because I want their money, but because they have no right to engage in that. And that's how the commercial actors are you're going to drain those pockets. You're going to drain them in a manner that has not been addressed by legislation. All right, you don't get to, they're monitoring American citizens. And then they sexually molest, harass, and threaten. And they're engaged in kidnapping. They're engaged in the pattern of conduct. 8VQE261. So you're going to pay for that. And that's how you make the commercial actors pay. You tap those pockets, because that's what Satan cares about. Satan cares about money. 8FSP517, and that's how you hurt that. They do need to pay. That's a matter of punishment. 7XNN338. And everything that Amazon Prime does is speaking for what the people are doing, and they're doing nothing but doing it in a commercial vehicle. That has implications for that brand, for that company that you want to use to engage in monitoring and threatening and sexually molesting an American citizen on behalf of a government. Which, by the way, at prosecution, they're not going to want no parts of that. But that boat has sailed. It's too late. Too late. We're coloring the conduct, though. License plate, 7XIP276. Handicap plate, 38465. Dietz, that's the one I was looking at yesterday. Dietz, engaged in, Dietz is towing. Dietz towing, excuse me. Spelled DIETZ. Engaged in group stalking. 5PWY104. 8KZC588. 8VQE261. Right, what you hear in the background and the license plate that I'm reading, they're one group monitoring together. All right, no distinction. Other than at prosecution, for the perpetration of the crime, they're one face. One. This is what the government needs. But for federal prosecution, that's when they'll be sliced apart, providing no shelter to anyone. Nobody can help. No one. 85676W1 7XNN. See, 7XNN338. 5XKN862. It is 11:57 a.m. And the State's Fake Sun is directly over me where I'm standing at Euclid and HOLT at the crosswalk, where I am looking at what is the brick wall where the state was creating directed light and the large shadows of 8FED 690 monitoring me to that audible activity. And the state was creating large shadows of the cars on that brick wall. I'm facing that brick wall. I'm facing T-Mobile, Zola's Birreria, the Bally Spa. I'm facing this. I'm facing the Wells Fargo. So in other words, I am facing north while I'm standing at the intersection where the crosswalk is at HOLT and Euclid. And the State's Fake Sun is right over my head. So what I want to take a picture of is the fact that there is no sun over the Ontario Town Square area, the library, all right, B&G Plaza, not even in that direction. But where I went earlier in the day yesterday, that's exactly where I captured the State's Fake Sun over my head at those locations, okay? I have already established this, but I'm going to go ahead and take pictures of that anyway. Omni Access number 9235. That's Omnitrans, okay? License 1527738. Under the impossible occurrence of what is not the sun. All right, that is how you are deducing the intentional presence of the people of the state, besides the fact that they're engaging in a behavioral pattern. 7SJX538. That's P.O.C. So I'm going to go ahead and capture that. The absence of any sun, also, it's over my head. So it's not over the San Bernardino. It's not over the, for example, 322 Holt Boulevard Car Wash. It's not over the Stater Brothers parking lot. It'll be there when I'm there, over my head, okay? It's also not over B&G Plaza. The actual sun is actually not over any of these locations where I'm documenting. It's certainly not over 435 South Bonneview either, okay? But if I went there, the State's Fake Sun remains over my head and over that property. And that's the totality of the documentation that I've already gathered, okay? So you have what is the absence of any sun, and then it is impossible for what the state does. It migrates its light source to remain on the street over my head at those venues for no matter how long I stay there, and it stays all day. All right. And I've also captured where I remain at the museum past the time that I got up today and yesterday. We're talking about after 12 p.m. and the State's Fake Sun was captured directly over my head, right there, located, peculiar to where I am at the museum, not just over the museum, but over me at the museum, well after this time. And then the state has also engaged in acting like the sun is setting while aiming its directed light onto the same property, the museum, all right? But it's also engaged in that same conflicting conduct. It's aiming directed light inside of the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library when it's supposedly setting. Diagonal to that venue, I guess, so low that it's aiming into the building. I don't know how that's what the state did, though. It's doing the same thing where it's aiming directed light inside of what is Stater Brothers. Also mutually exclusive. But this is documented conduct. Did the same thing inside of the Stater Brothers. I'm sorry, the Starbucks. The sun is setting, and it's aiming its light that's supposedly setting, I put that in air quotes, inside of the venue of Starbucks at 706 West Holt Boulevard. This is documented conduct. But yet it wants to act like it's setting over the Economy Inn parking lot. All right, it's setting while I'm at 435 South Bonneview, and you're looking at the state's light activity. This is the absence of any sun over, even in that direction. Ontario Fire engaging in P.O.C. Lights coming around the corner. Okay, waiting for me, by the way, to use my camera. That's a group stalker. That's a psychopath in a fire truck. That's P.O.C. And Ontario Fire engaging. They're always engaging in monitoring and group stalking. They're doing nothing other than providing visual presence. It's P.O.C. right, I did capture that. 94602H1, 8 GCE 383, 5 KDL 556, 8 PRM 975, 5 PAL 163, 8 VJ 219, 600 somewhere, 3238 R2, 8 SFS 201. What I want to bring your attention, pay attention as I end that video right now. And what you hear is the traffic light turns green and traffic proceeds to cross path. That is the pattern of conduct. As I engage in a change of activity, what's the change of activity? I ended that video. At the moment that I end the video, the state that is controlling the traffic lights turns the light green. While they were maintaining presence, the state crosses path in Ontario Fire Department truck, stops the sirens as they cross me. Literally, as I captured in the video, as the moment that they drive by, you can see it in the video, the sirens stop. Amazon Prime crossing path again, and you have what is the state using the traffic lights as a means of facilitating criminal activity as I stop that video. That's the behavioral pattern. You're listening to it and you're watching it. So just want to be clear on that. That's what the state just did again. P.O.C. It is 12:04 p.m. All right, 8 MEY 163, 8 UJC 205, 19937 T2. And so you're also going to want to pay attention. Remember on that was May 18, 2021, where I'm standing outside of the T-Mobile, and the state's fake sun is directly over my head as Amazon Prime flies while I'm standing at that street. And I go into T-Mobile, and then the state engages in what it always does. It's a criminal, and engaging in declining my card, 5G UK 932, declining my card. I captured the state's fake sun. This is well after, what is it, in the afternoon on May 18th. I just want to be clear. This is another example of what is the impossible light activity. The state's fake sun is over the museum. The T-Mobile at 101 North Euclid Avenue, where the state's fake sun was directly over my head as I stood outside of the T-Mobile store, which is on Holt Boulevard on that side. And then as I go in, as I captured, and you see the state's directed light inside of that venue, which is also not in conformity to the placement of any sun, any traffic. You don't see any laser lights. That's not going to occur. That's the state's directed light, and that's the state's fake sun over me as I stood outside of that store. But yet the state is engaging in keeping it over the museum. What sort of migration of the sun is that? And this is also where I'm coming from. Where did I come from? Economy Inn, where the state's fake sun remained all day long. 6YKY 518, 8CEZ 697, 5XAJ 606, 8FIK 432. That's all you're paying attention to. I'm looking at the T-Mobile store. So what sort of migration is that of the state's light source? And this is everything that you're looking at when I'm documenting the people. That's what you're looking at. The state's fake sun remaining over my head on the opposite side of the T-Mobile building. I'm just on the opposite side of the street of the T-Mobile building. And the state kept its fake sun over me as I stood outside of that T-Mobile store. And this is the day that the state flew over in Amazon Prime, very targeted to its location. The state wasn't flying over the museum in Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime was flying right here where I was at the T-Mobile store. All right? That was P.O.C. then. This is P.O.C. now. That's the impossibility of the state's light with a fake sun. These are psychopaths, and this is satanic. License plate 7BSX 180. 7GTE 402, 0439 OX1, 7MIA 891. Everything the state does prosecutes the people. I have prosecuted them myself. But even looking at that, I have literally made a fool out of them. They've made a fool out of themselves, but I've made a fool out of them. All I have to do is show you what the documentation shows, and look at this point after point after point of what they're doing. With this fake sun, it's ridiculous. 5EWW407. But yet it's right over me. It's literally on the opposite side of the street next to T-Mobile, but yet it's remaining over the library all day yesterday. At what point in the day is it going to be over T-Mobile on the side of the store like I captured it on May 18th? But yet it's remaining over the room of Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue all day long. All day. Documented conduct. So this is what you're looking at. This is what you're analyzing. And I'm letting you know it's not only weird, it's satanic. 8PUY 208, 8TDP 938, 8TPA 313, BP 22S78, 7YSW 197, 7SMM 923, 8FFA 997, 7FSH 027, 6UNM 061, AAA 6ZPM 110, 7VEK 955, 7M15296, 7FSE966. This is 851WR, handicap plate, 8TZF032, 7BMG 752, 7VDK 162, 7UDZ 154, 7MXS 885, 7TBF 008, AAA, license plate 56915U2, 8AVC 583. That's just audible activity. AAA is monitoring me to that. 6N13390. 7SOD 605, 6LTS 784, 8MCG 902, 3PYR 875, 6JXT 790. I can't really see that one. 7SFN 584, 59208N2, 92020Z2, 8Y55 534, EDDIE 85, again, 8DRK 317, 8NCK 292, 8FYA 286. Again, AAA Emergency Services, tow services, the company also engaged in monitoring inside of a private space while I'm at Economy N. And they're engaged in sexual violence. They're nothing but the people engaging in P.O.C. And this is 7F36659, 3PFE 293, 4 VDP 575. That's audible activity of a plane not flying over the museum, following me just like it is with its fake sun that's over my head at this intersection. That's how you know the people are focused on you, not their abysmal fail at acting like they're doing something else. That's what demons do. 7ZZF 390, 7BSG 672, 8DMH 802. That is 48471A3, 7ZOV 346, 7VYN 626, 5KMV 165, 8L28445, 5TMP 158, 6YAT 663, 6FKX 114, 8ROV 328, 14852L1, 6JPM 658, it's 12:10 p.m., 7BTW 586, 4Y HZ 923, 7TSX 642, 8K 40975. That's Amtrak engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct, monitoring and facilitating that by 6FKX 114. That's audible activity. 5FKX 261, 8MOB 103, 8KLG 788, 8MFB 010, 8TQS 262, OCO OPA. That looks like an Arizona plate. 16428J1, 8HSG 905, LOSPPS 4. So let me spell out the obvious. Relevant positioning. They're monitoring inside of Check's Cash MoneyGram at 100 South Euclid. They're monitoring inside of T-Mobile at 101 North Euclid Avenue. Let me get 7BRU 672. 6YTV 562, 7TID 394, 7EJC 954, 6C24094, 4ZBC 604, 6A28160. They're monitoring inside of Sabor Hondureño, monitoring inside of Botanica, St. Judas, Tato, whatever that is. They're all in relevant position. They're monitoring inside of Zola's Birreria. They're monitoring, let me get this, 68039M1, 7NUN82, I can't really see that one, 26611D1, 8WEM272, 7KRF348, 78246J1, 8EOD273, 6UAV563, 8HSV702, 7KKPO12, 5F80493, BP93P75 paper, 7UIU275, 7XYL488, 8EJN049, 8EOD273, 57076L2, 8HTG651, 7AOZ097, 6NRA319, Z4LADGR, BH, oh, that's a paper plate, I can't really see that one. Let's see, did I read this one? 7AGW264, 8 REM433, or 8 PEM433. It's a burgundy Infiniti SUV. This is license plate 4VMU208, 7YNN351, BVXX607, 8 PNT976, 7R78071, 7 FPW092, 8 TBF044, 7 PQR283, 7966 blank W2, can't really see that whole plate. Oh, let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's 8 PEM433, 8 LGB553. Yeah, 8 PEM433, 8 VVV918, 6 HPZ373, 7 ZGS573, 8 VSY875, 7 GMG798, 7 YVB123, 12779X2, 8 LXT897, 8 WDB539, 33140W2, 8 LLJ614, and 5 TYH665, Omnitrans, engaging in crossing path, TRIAY, 6 YBW714, 5 DMK184, 6 GOC 750, 6 FPX 198, 6 NRF 875, 8 RZM 082, 7 BCM 122. It is 12:15 p.m. Let me get this. 8 LLJ 614, 8 RNH 589, 8 PRT 165, 5 SON 895, 7 LWY 277, 8 MHC 662, R351VO, 29440P1. That's Omnitrans, and that vehicle stalking with activity as I move. 8 LUK 197. This is satanic, all right? This is what I'm saying. AMR monitoring. They arrive out of the blue. 7 PDB 423. Omnitrans monitoring with AMR, monitoring with the state that's over my head in a fake sun. Omnitrans acting and engaging in activity creation at the same time I engage in a new movement. So I was standing stationary. As I move my feet, you hear the noise pick up. 7YEE 393, 7BFE 735, 2 SWEETY, 7 EGR 482, 6XMA 507, AZ 71J80, 7 BCM 122. I think I read that one already. 7XDJ 589. It is 12:16 p.m. 0881. Let me see. AMR Group Soccer 0881 1H2. Vehicle 95014. 8 UAZ 428. CCG 430. 5XOJ 188. 8 UKP 833. 8 SBC 796. DUVS TER 8 EVN 102. Ontario Fire Department crossing again 5 GME 592. DX 603. That's a handicap plate. Ontario Fire 1332569. 4 NOR 585. 6 MJG 020. And it is 12:17 p.m. States fake sun right over my head. P.O.C. It is 12:17 p.m. 26611D1 7DKX123. Audible activity 7RTU 484 7XDJ 589 7WVU 620 7JWE 913 1BRA V03 6ZTG 741 8MNF 276, 7SHW 228, 8JSW 141, 7TCV 749, 8PGB 926, 8KTE 299, 54388 3P2, substantially similar. That's a Chevy white pickup truck. 7SRD 292. I already read that one, and I read that one. 7XZL 748. 5GXT 650. 7NQU 993. 94092A3. 5USX 666. 7SED 010. 8LCV 643. 5TMH 348. 8VCC 761. 6PWF 701. 7M, can't really see that one. Omnitrans loading in relevant position at Lemon and Holt Boulevard. 8TBR 971. 8UBY 502. It's 1219. 7DEU 337, 8VZE 539, 8VML 932, 8WMG 672, 8PJL 419, A443A0, 8KAG 200, 8RQB 144, 6DTW 279, 8TYV 086, 3PRNCSA, MDF 3053, that's a Texas plate. 5WFJ 332. That's the creation of audible activity as I turn my body in a different direction. This is, see, I read that one already. 9409, yeah, I read that one. 8MVL 108. 92344L1, 7GET 573, 07423X2, 6LQK 229, 7ZMZ 330, 8SOM 608, 8NLG 664, 8H26045, 81DC 777, 7VGG 404, 7ZYZ 863, 8HDC 221, 7GMM 328, 7RFC 420, 0BLUMUN, and 6AKL 621, 8VCW 803, 8RHT 506, 7JND 031. It is 12:21 p.m. ALY1CAT 7W09352 8N36591 8K21653 7VXV 7VXV143 8DTK 946 7PXN 788 6F 55006 7HLG 319 8RHT 506 7DGL 733 5HJN 335 8CLL 752 5SGT 061 7TXP 886 91698E3 539 41X2 Amtrak, the bus is in relevant position, P.O.C. 4KSS 736 7LZ, I can't really see that one, 5YSU 708, and also let me point something out to you, it's 12:22 p.m. It's not a coincidence that Amtrak arrives again, as I mentioned them specifically in my documentation this morning. That's the P.O.C. 8CNW 339, 8KBE 895, 7ZTH 387, 7LRY 713. 8FZV 269, 501FZ, that's a handicap plate. 8HUE 027, 8HTZ518, because I didn't read that one, and 8CPY125, 7XTY002, 7BUJ863, 47369Y2, 8NTY925, 7XEF837, 8FAP292, 8NDR013, 6NJH300, 7YQU596, 5UGS122, 8BSL405, 7LYC901, 8VVV406. It's 12:23 p.m. 8VAT269, or sorry, 268. Yeah, 268. XAG, 7XAJ940, 8TDB114, 5JAV037, 24941K2, 6ACW034, 8ATM619, 8SFX091, 8FUB782. That same exact conduct the state uses to vibrate the ground at the museum as though traffic is going to create that sensational activity. That's demonic activity. BD31G78. All right, that's P.O.C. That's concerted conduct. 8KGJ651. It's not vibrating the ground while I'm standing here right next to them. 8EOL080, 136RF, handicap. 8HUE027. This is no ordinary criminal conduct that I'm documenting. This is Satan in operation. And very, very mad. Very mad. 8MEY163, monitoring with the state flying over my head. 4DVM826. 8ALF494. 7VAZ178. Already read that one. 8MEY163, I read that one. D840KO. 5ATJ990. 8UJG099. 8RBV259. 7PEG886. And let me be clear, the state is flying, as I migrate up north, I'm at the intersection, the state's flying right up here, right next to me, migrating where I'm going, targeting me. That's how you know what the people are doing as well. 6WXL251, 42429S2, 4HCN648, 8TBF449, 5RNC514, 7LDK000, 6HCX109, 8JLC644, 8APB592. JB Hunt, I've already documented them. This is 8VOT192, 6UYY506, VNNET, 8GCJ478, 8JPW548, ED029 handicap. Omnitrans in relevant position. Let's see. 5WNH340. 8BWT051, 7TFY002. It's 12:26 p.m. 8JSK114. Now, when I left on Economy Inn on June 4, 2021, I'm still at the property at 1:48 when I captured the video. State's Fake Sun directly over my head at that property. It's right now over my head, and it's not even 1:48 p.m. It's 12:27. 8HLB791, 7MAS022, Omnitrans, license 1545684. Not that I need it. Readily identifiable. Systematically engaging in monitoring. 6ZPM110, 376JEG, 6RDP193, 5USK070, 3XWD386, 8J72004. Right, so it's 12:27 p.m. I just let the documentation speak for itself. I'll have to say anything else. 7UXL 1DO. JONSLEX wishes he was cool. He's a stalker. 30010X2. 8KED587. 8PNS882. 5RAE521. 6JGN447. Paper AX01D64. 6SXM 935, 5ETH 822, KGA 53B, Arizona plate, 8RBD 065, 6PVF 343, 7ZVW 399, 8NUE 772, W507BO, 8HBA 324, ABUF Heart 12, 6JGN 447, 8F14390, JENIMY Heart. 8LVH 995. 4LEM 933. 5ESV 806. 5PFR 547. 6UJR 874. 5PIT 676. AC49L34 paper. 4LEM 933. 48658A3. 6SRV 593. 8SJB 858. 4ZNK 722. I believe I read that one already though. 5RAE 521, yeah. 317511Y2. 8RMA 732. 7GWL 623. CKF 2164. All right, not only am I documenting what is the monitoring, understand while they're monitoring, they're being sexually violent. The state is molesting with that which is not the sun. And now, as far as monitoring goes, it's light. It's the element of light. But the state has gone to the extent of using what is a fake sun to molest all over my person, to unlawfully touching all over my body, while they are maintaining presence essentially to monitor for a criminal purpose. They're sex offenders, okay? This is a license plate covering up that old as crap car, Honda Accord. All right, this is license plate 8W89636, 8ULW396, 7DSP 709, 6VAP 268, 8HER 278, 8JVH 225, BD49Y06 paper plate, 5ZHF 988, 81508S1, COBBETS 8CYB 227, 7WHF 797, 8DDK 467, 8UNT 066, 8UOB 464, 8PLH 594, 5LTZ 397, 8JVH 525, in case I didn't read that one already. What time is it? It is 12:31 p.m. 8NNL 615. 8RGP 390. 8POK 969. 4UQP 638. Remember what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a psychopath and a sex offender. Because that's what they are. 7DEZ 275 1468. That's the police again. 1465862, which is funny. Crime scene unit. They're engaged in crime right now. 7RGJ 453. D991LO. 7BRY 893. 45737S2. 4NML 088. They're engaged in crime, driving around in a crime scene unit, which is a means for them to cross path, okay? The same department, the Ontario Police Department, engaged in kidnapping, okay? 8NKA 958. That's GK4216. I don't know what kind of license plate that is. 7CVG 039. 7FSH 027. 7BNG 675. 06550Y1, 6DOG 250, 6YLJ 863, 8TZK 569, 6CKX 411, 7CPC 914, 8VWT 454, 7UAN 393, 02298E2, 8LV, I can't really see that one, you scratch that one, 6M I can't really see that one either. Wait. 7Y53517. 7 BIP 013. 8 KGJ 959. 333 ZN. That's a handicap. 7XQT 249. DREANOE. 8LZB 196. 8VYL 297. 5XSW 757. 7WTL 326. 6CQJ 210. 6237 7ZZF 810. 8JYM 255. 7UCH 477. 7JZZ 845. 7618 722. 7TGD 010 Spectrum. This is 8SHX 366. 97500Y2. 8PAP 332. Eight LWT 343. 7LSS 406. 4YKT 189. This is the absence of any sun over the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. It's directly over my head at this intersection. 8 RGG 085. 5SCV 227. 7 VCC 162. 7JH A 362, I believe. 6K BP 944. 8LBK 191. 7FDB 470. 7DJA 387. All right, no sun even in the direction of what is west of me. Nowhere over that direction. It's right here over me. 7LAT 494. And this is what I've documented as I'm at that venue. The state's moving its fake sun to be over that venue, which is how you know that they are monitoring, besides the fact that I've already established that they're monitoring. They're monitoring on a massive scale. 8VYY 560. Besides the fact that I've already documented over, for example, Stater Brothers early in the morning, and the contrast that with being directly over me early in the morning at 435 South Bonneview Mercy House, 7MFZ 701 being directly over where I'm located, where I'm working in Riverside County, 4202 3F2 at Country Village Apartments in Harupa Valley early in the morning. Okay, that's all to be examined together. 4VNF 733 directly over the venue where I'm at early in the morning at Economy Inn. All of this coexists together. It's not isolated. All right, early in the morning over the museum. Yeah, I don't think so. 6NRF 875, 5PXF 572, 7UEB 854, 8JCP 018, 6RUB 203, 7KAS 240, 8RGF 938. Seven TTY 906. REDMABA 8WCB 463. 8KSZ 104. 8ROU 651. 6E39 685. 6RRG 052. 6BGT 814. 8RBH 009. 8N4 9364. 7ZTH 387. Paper BD14S79, 3NCC 100, 5SUT 287, 8JWD 646, 7MOF 222, 62425A3, 6776 3E3, 8HZA 089, 8LHV 369, 308, 26Y1, 6HUU 378, 5XDK 881, 7FHU 464, 7KNS 708, paper plate, white infinity, no plate on the front, 6T88149, 57181V2, 7XNP127, 8EJA919, 8JBW408, 8UOJ713, BH00Y26, paper, 7DEG768, 8PYW582, 24676H2, 7WYZ870. I'll get that one in a second. Yes, 7WYZ870. Yeah. 7J51410, 7DFZ070, 8TBZ915, 55410J2, 6VFB80. You could scratch that one. 5ZCK519, 8KWY297. It is 12:39 p.m. 21701F2, 8H26045. WNJ 772, 7AIT 342, 8GSJ 993, 8TBZ 592, 4WJL 033, 30840E2, 8SZW 570, 8NMT 189, 8FXV 744, can't wait to that one, 7WMN 619, 6RTD 101, 8SVY 682, 6ALE 592, 8HTK 082, 8TXX 095, 7RSL 869, 8PBJ 032, 6928 2W2, 5CUG 538, 6NVR 132, 6WDX 239, 8MSF 766, 4CGL 144, paper BD 43K59, 8PAY 060, 6YCJ 054, 7NEF 144, 6FKP 797, 6KNF 978, 8UJC 205, 730 P58, that's a Nevada plate, 8JCK 165, 8MOM 656, 7Y 72243. It is 12:41 p.m. Four NLBO28, because I didn't read that one. 7 BMT 305. 3 Princessa, crossing path again. 5 JOH 15. 8 ARD 398. 7 MXS 194. Okay. It is 12:42 p.m. All right, I did capture video of that just to show what the state is doing and what it's doing with its light source as I go from place to place, which I've already established. I'm literally punctuating my point as I get more and more names. Assaulting with light, molesting with light, as 6WEU 715 drives past me, 6UWB 615. 7GKC 474, that's 6UWB 165, also assaulting with light as they cross path. And the state's fake sun is over my head, and so the state's directed light is touching my person as they're driving by. 7GKC 474, 78PR004, 8KKC 708, 7GID 109, 8FPH 766. That's audible activity while they're touching and molesting together. All they're doing is monitoring. 7GKD 124 and 8SEA 671, 62804C3, 1BONDS, 8UGJ, and a different plate on the back, a paper plate on the back. This is 5YZ8257. That's P.O.C. Right, and that's what I've captured with the state's directed light. Especially as you see on my playlist on YouTube, speaking to what is the hallmark, the state's directed light. That's what the state is doing right now as I'm documenting those third parties that are driving past, and I'm walking by the checks cash MoneyGram building and impossible light activity onto the sidewalk, onto the asphalt, and onto my person as they are crossing path in their cars. That's the state's molesting with light, 8SZW570. That's a routine aspect of the pattern of conduct. The people are intentionally engaging in not only presence, but molesting with the state. That is what I've documented. That hallmark is what is identifying also the state's pattern of conduct. And that's what they're doing. That's what I just documented right now. And understand it's not unique to that episode that I captured right now. All of the actors that I have specifically identified are engaging in what is an ongoing crime. The crime doesn't stop. Okay, because 21851C2 is captured right now, and I'm going to get a different license plate tomorrow. It is not separating the criminal acts that the entity is engaged in together on a constant basis. 8KKN 677. And it is 12:45 p.m. That's P.O.C. 7FGV 055, 5LWU 529, 8LDH 353. 6XLL 356. I'm at Laurel and Holt Boulevard where they're patrolling, 7SDT 861. Group stalker and license plate 7TMR 625. License 99999SY. Group stalker approaching at Laurel 7K70502. Audible activity. Under the fake sun. That's P.O.C. Pro towing. PRO towing. 8TBC 957. 5VLH 268. Omnitrans crossing path. 8SZU 078. 92752A3. 7T JC280, 8TTB861, 8WLP066, 8EEN555. All right, so like I've already shown before, the infamous Lupita's Furniture, I made a very exaggerated point, exaggerated by remaining in front of Lupita's Furniture. Because I was showing what the state was doing on that day, which is what the state is doing right now. This is why the state's fake sun was over Lupita's Furniture on that day when I captured it, and it remained for the entire time that I stood there. That's exactly what the state just did right now, as I remained at 150 East Holt, at Transit and Holt, and then as I stand at the intersection of Holt and Euclid. This is why it is right now over Lupita's Furniture, because I am walking past Lupita's Furniture. All right, that's what Lupita was doing, and she engaged in criminal facilitation. She came and opened up her business and engaged in P.O.C. And she engaged in maintaining presence, and she did so while the state's fake sun was over her business, which she's not ignorant of. That's what the people of the state of California do. That was the asininity that the state used its fake sun on that day, which is the ongoing criminal conduct, mutually exclusive to every other place where the state has already placed its fake sun, which is stating that that's the actual sun, and so that's supposed to be consistent conduct with the sun, a star, that is not remaining over your head directly everywhere that you are above your person. The sun is not remaining directly over these third parties as they're crossing path. It's remaining stationary over me. That's not the same thing. Okay, now if I was in one of their cars, the state's fake sun would remain over them because I'm with them. But as they drive by, their relative presence from the fake sun is moving, all right? The state's fake sun is not remaining. That's what the state is doing, all right? That's how you know that they're targeting you. The environment is showing that they're targeting you, contrary to what are demonic actors acting as though they're doing something else, and they're monitoring you. 66067D3. All right, as they're driving by, the state's fake sun isn't remaining over their head. And when they drive down to what is Plum, there's no sun over there, okay? It's right here over me. Eagles Airy 2398 is monitoring. All right, that's P.O.C. It is 12:49 p.m. PVW 104. KLR 6236. That's a Texas plate. 23448Y2 7XMT 036. 7BSG 672, 5FPG 600, 8AYK 705, 8UZK 736, 2527 8W1, 8ERG 979, 6ZUH 810, 7LRY 713. It's 12:50 p.m. A7 9114. That's 322 Holt Boulevard Car Wash, creating audible activity as the state's fake sun is now over me at that property. I already captured how there was not even the sun in this direction. The state is stalking with light and they're creating audible activity. 7FIF 704, 6ZAE 008. That's a facilitating venue. 8CRV 608. 5DRY 138. 8TMX 312. 8GLB 607. It is 12:52 p.m. And again, that's the Holt Boulevard Car Wash located at 322 Holt Boulevard in Ontario. Monitoring, that's a third-party facilitating venue, engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring every patron and the employees, okay? Use of that audible activity, 8CIZ 728. I think I read that one already. And the state's fake sun is in an impossible location where it just was not present as it was over my head. And as I walk to the venue, here it is over my head across from me. That's how you monitor. 6PIC 738, 7MVV 007, 92751R2, 66808N2, 6GAX 955, 7RPT 167. It is 12:53 p.m. That's 322 Holt Boulevard, stalking with activity. honking a horn. The car is ready. Come get your car at the same time that I press the screen on my phone. It's demonic activity. And let's get who's 6YCA400. FJG730, 41965D3, 8TBR772, 8FJB950, 6NYR847, 8EOD590, 6ZKL616, 8DUP875, 6HXC636. URS 115, DIR400, 8TIF444, 5JU0924, 8CSA496, 8TW, I can't really see that one. This is a paper plate on this van, which is not brand new. BD16N53. 5ENR672. Hello. 6VHK028. 8SVT807. 4XWA003. You're listening to demonic activity. The state's fake sun is over my head, where I just captured the absence of any sun in this direction. So they're maintaining presence and activity. That is 7P10844, 4NDN214, 7KFK941, 8ATD012. P.O.C. They're on the traffic cameras also at HOLT and Vine. You're listening to, this is satanic. They're monitoring, and the state maintains the fishbowl with the fake sun over my head. 8PPY045, 6ZNN440, 8BZE539, 96826C2, 4DYZ699, 6GAL555, 7BSR300. It's 12:56 p.m. 274. 8TBN198. 8DMK640. ED029, handicap, crossing path again. ZMEGOBY. 6ZJY641. That's Amtrak. 6RRK712. 8204722. 6211F3. 6ZUH810. 541VG handicap. 4XX511, 8RUG 604, 7YJ 651. I believe you discussed. I can't really see that one. 4GUU 049. 5HQV 695. 5CUB 672. Okay, and you have what is the state's fake sun, not relative to where it remained over near the museum and the T-Mobile store and the San Bernardino County Department of Public Health building. It is not relative to that location. It is squarely above my head. After I also took a picture of what is the absence of any sun even in this direction, okay? That is how you know that the people are targeting you, not based on their external conduct, acting like they're doing something else. The environment is speaking to the targeting conduct. The behavioral pattern is speaking to the targeting conduct. The stalking conduct of the state directly is speaking to the targeting conduct. Everything about that is revealing that they are in fact targeting you. That's a destruction of the whole false premise that this system is built on. If the actual sun was present over that intersection, I would be looking back at it relative to my position here at the Ontario Village Shopping Center, 6BFG 751. I'm not. It's directly over my head. Okay? After remaining for hours over my head at that end of the street. That is remaining where I am. That is moving as I move. That is stalking with the light source, 6JQF877, because they're all monitoring. And it's satanic. It's absolutely satanic. Ontario Village Shopping Center is monitoring. Sitting in the drive-thru, inside of all the stores, sitting in a restaurant, shopping, working at the store, whatever they're doing it in relevant position while the state has created the environment for them to do so. P.O.C. It is 1 p.m. Paper plate AW91B41. 6ZNN440, 6KKD455, 8KSZ104, 6GFG404, 8PFK789, 7XFB282, 8JSW538, 8DBA188, 7UBP171, DCH5440, 8JTV356, 7KYM810, 5NWW623, 8EOD590, ZGA7C3A, 7VCD834, 8FOE787. This is a Utah plate, G992FX, 7VVV263, 8DEM060. Amtrak providing audible activity as I walk through, and they're maintaining presence in this parking lot. 8BZA689, 5TPG571, 7LLB873, 7EIU727. So let me also speak to what the state is doing. The state is amplifying the sound of what's supposed to be the ability to hear the train in motion on the train tracks. I'm standing in front of the Holt Boulevard smoke shop. You cannot hear the train in motion on the train tracks. But that's what the state is doing. It's audible activity. And every time you hear the train, relative to this location over here, that's specifically Amtrak, because that's the Amtrak train station. And the state uses that as supposed to be the reason why you can hear the train everywhere. And actually, in reality, you cannot. It's called audible activity. And that is Amtrak directly engaged in monitoring American citizens, sexually violating American citizens, criminal obstruction of justice to keep that criminal fact a secret. 6LMN270, 8MXJ574, 7BMC116, 6FON938, 7YGD139. Group stalking at Stater Brothers. They're included in the venue, but I'm just speaking to where I'm at right now. P.O.C. It is 1:03 p.m. and the group stalker seen sitting outside on the bench is present in relevant position and creating audible activity, as you can hear, and the state's fake sun is right over the building. It's P.O.C. Excuse me, it's P.O.C. So let me point out something else. This is what I mean by, first of all, demonic activity. This is a servant of Satan. This is Satan, whose image you cannot see. All you see is her face. She's engaging in the state's pattern of conduct, which is criminal and it's satanic. She's engaging in presence. She's right here where the state's fake sun is over me at the entrance of Stater Brothers, where the state is engaging in amplifying audible activities such as a train, which you cannot actually hear, while the state is directing light. And she is also in a position and outwardly conducting herself as though she's focused on a phone call when she is engaged in the criminal elements of monitoring. Okay, this is an African-American female with a scarf on her head and ponytail, and all she's doing is monitoring. She's maintaining presence, acting with the rest of the minions. That's demonic activity, the malice with which they engage in it. Using the shopping carts to create audible activity under a fake sun. These minions know exactly what the environment is created for. That's P.O.C. Okay, it is 1:04 p.m. and Stater Brothers is a facilitating venue, and minions are surrounding, monitoring inside and all around the grocery store. It's literally a demonic activity. Hi, what's your name? Huh? Josiah. Josiah? Yeah. Okay, that's Josiah with the Stater Brothers engaging in the P.O.C. Using the shopping carts, acting with the patrons. All right, that's the criminalization of everything that they do in order to monitor you. And I am referencing the security cameras because I'm here. That's P.O.C. All right, it is 1:24 p.m. I want to speak to the pattern of conduct as it is underway inside of Stater Brothers. The employees are group stalking at the locations where I typically buy merchandise, for example. So that's how you stalk inside of a grocery store. You're maintaining presence in the path, and you're also maintaining presence at the locations where you anticipate arrival. And regardless of that, which I'm aware of because I've been exposed to it, they are maintaining presence in the path as I'm walking through the store. And that is they being Stater Brothers. That's how they are engaged in the pattern of conduct, and they're facilitating. They're directly engaging in it. While the state's fake sun is over the parking lot, by the way. And I also want to speak to the sexual violence that Stater Brothers is engaged in. Engaging in the intentional withhold of the password, the code, to get into the bathroom. As I am at the bathroom sink, washing my hands, and again, the entity that's monitoring is engaged in surveillance, listening to everything that you're doing. And so the state begins amplifying activity at the moment that the third-party group stalkers begin banging on the door. They begin banging on the door of the bathroom, which has a code on it. So you're looking at what is the creation of audible activity, but also dealing with them in their twisted, their universe where monitoring is not ongoing. You're dealing with demons, okay? You're banging on the door that has a code that is required to be put inside of it. And also Stater Brothers, as I've also documented, is withholding this code all of a sudden. After I started documenting the P.O.C. and naming the manager here, Tony Morales, they began withholding the code. And so this is requiring for their engagement in the pattern of conduct, by the way. As they escort you, they're in the path while they open the door, creating audible activity. And so that's what holding the code does, and it is also a form of harassment as well, as they were aware of my documentation of their engagement in sexually violent monitoring conduct with the government. And so you have what I take a picture of as a group stalker that enters inside of the bathroom. She enters the bathroom after the door is banged on, and obviously the door is open, so unless she has some magical power, she already has the code. There is no employee there that's entering, that's letting her inside of the bathroom. They as in third parties have the code. She entered the bathroom, no employee let her in. She walks in the bathroom and then she walks back out. Both of the stalls are vacant. I'm not in the bathroom stalls. I'm at the bathroom sink. She walks in, and I just want to speak to what the venue is engaged in, not giving me the code, and this is supposed to be that which they're doing toward everyone. This third-party group stalker who I take a picture of as she leaves the bathroom, understand all she's doing is engaging in the criminal elements as the state is amplifying noise through the wall behind the mirror. I'm facing the sink. So there's noise coming through the wall that's supposed to be the toilet you're hearing through the men's bathroom. That's supposed to be like the water cycling as you're flushing the toilet. That's what the state is doing at the same time that the door is being banged on and all of a sudden it's open. And I also want to speak to the fact that no employee opened it for her. Okay, so you've got a grocery shopper, a third-party group stalker nonetheless, but you've got a customer that has the code. All right. She walks in and then she walks out, doesn't even use the bathroom. And so I take a picture of that. And I also want to note that's Amtrak creating audible activity as I'm standing at the entrance. So you're speaking to what is the amplification of train activity. All right. And that is the state using that train, and we'll identify it as Amtrak engaging in the P.O.C. because the state does that even when the train is not in motion. And meaning no train is actually on any track, but it's going to be assigned to Amtrak because that's the guise under which the state is creating audible activity. And by the way, Amtrak is aware of the fact that that is the case. So that's criminal activity attributed to that entity. That's the state actor. Amtrak. And so that's the train activity that you're hearing while I'm in front of the grocery store. And this is also occurring while the state's fake sun is over the parking lot. And Stater Brothers is at 646 West Holt. This is not only Stater Brothers engaged in P.O.C., the entirety of the entity is monitoring the inside of that private space, which is the bathroom, and also speaking to what is the possession of the code to get inside of the bathroom by a customer where no employee is present, all right, and doing so in concert with the amplification of audible activity inside of that bathroom. All right, and the state also engaging in the creation of audible activity, as you hear right now. That's a third-party group stalker. The state using the presence of the people to actually engage in the alternative conduct, which is merely playing the sound of a car alarm. All right, and that's how the state does it with simultaneity. It's not always actually a third party's car. The state keeps a soundtrack going, and the people who are present, it's supposed to be assigned to them. So that's somebody's car that you're looking at because you see all the cars. No. This is the mask that the entity wears. All right, and that is that's the venue engaging in P.O.C. And I want to get what's the fake sun over this venue while they're engaging in that. You're going to want to focus on what is the current time. All right. All right, I did capture video just to give a visual to the podcast that you're also listening to, the direct evidence against the people, and that is the intentional conduct of the people. You're also looking at what is the harassment and the sexually motivated conduct of the venue, which represents the people. All right, because this is what the people do on a constant basis, but I'm isolating it to the venue, which it shall be prosecuted and identified for, and that is Stater Brothers, located at 646 West Holt Boulevard. And even speaking to what is the possession, how did she get inside the bathroom? There's no employee there, and all she did was walk in and walk out. No employee there, all right? And all she did was walk in to engage in positioning while the state was amplifying activity through the walls of the bathroom, all right? That's a psychopath, and that's a sex offender, the same one that's engaged in kidnapping and stealing all your possessions, all right? Harassing you on the job, all right? That's P.O.C. And this is, again, Ontario Village Shopping Center. They're all corporately monitoring right now. The state's fake sun is over the venue. And this is speaking to also that sexual violence of monitoring inside of the bathroom. Before they amplify activity while I'm standing in front of the sink, they're monitoring while my clothes are off as well. They're monitoring on the opposite side. That's why you see that impossible light activity under the shaded structure of the grocery store. That's supposed to be bouncing off of some car, just sitting stationary on the wall. That's what the state does with this light. And it's demonic, okay? But it's serving all their monitoring purposes. This is demonic activity as they're just walking around with grocery carts like they're grocery shopping. All they're doing is monitoring. They're doing it under a fake sun. These are psychopaths, yet to be exposed as such. That's P.O.C. LAFC 178NUD 366 7LOH 324 8NTK 353 8CZY 744. That's audible activity while the state's directing light under the shaded structure of the grocery store. And these are the third parties that are patrolling in vehicles. And this is a paper plate BPO7N74 7NXF077. It is 2:03 p.m. by the way. It's still Sunday, June 6, 2021. 7ACY760 6VHA060. 8RBH009, and the state's fake sun object is directly over my head at this venue, 5ACP473, creating light activity and is crossing path. This is license plate 5XRW633. S394, can't really see it. It's a red Mustang opposite my location in the parking lot. They're on surveillance cameras here. They're all patrolling and group stalking city in their cars, patrolling around in the parking lot and inside of the respective properties. They're all monitoring. That's why the fake sun is here. 4ZPV470, 8TBP171, 8MFJ899. And that is, again, traffic from what's supposed to be Holt Boulevard. I'm in the parking lot of San Antonio. You hear that volume? That's called amplification with the state's fake sun and the state's directed light. 8NHM001, 94248Y1, 4FLC553, 5XRW633, 6DBW135, 6EHP712, AX07E31, 7KYU919, 8FIX347, 8DTB964, 8NHM001, 8SWV409, 6DOH489, 8CRY453, 8TTG543, 8CUA887, HOSS2K4, 8UZK336, 8TTU739, 80122E3, 7ROS912, 8RZU287, 4ZKD793. I already read that one. Omnitrans in relevant position, loitering at the intersection of San Antonio and Holt Boulevard, where the Starbucks is across the street from that, Tom's #1 Burgers, and there is I believe it's Golden Bear Motel. That's where Omnitrans is loitering right now, creating light activity and monitoring under the fake sun, okay? 7ROS912 crosses path, closing its car door. Understand how this third party, the license plate, is acting with Omnitrans. They are one group. USPS crossing path, okay? License plate 8DTB964, because I didn't read that one, 8VBE679. 8TSY955, 8BMH221, 7MXG854, 8EDD080, 7V, Golden Bear Inn. That's where the bus stop where Omnitrans is loitering in relevant position, cross path by driving away. 7VVR012. On this Sunday afternoon at 2:06 p.m., you have USPS loitering in the parking lot of the auto parts, and that is in relevant position to me across the street. They are monitoring under the fake sun, okay? Doing so with a prop, which is none other than the brand of the United States Postal Service, carrying a bag delivering mail on this Sunday afternoon. Where the state is aiming its directed light and under the fake sun, and where the state is stalking, there is no form. That's the United States Postal Service engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, representing the state, acting directly, by the way. 7VVR012, 8BMH221, 7MXG854, 7PXW089, 8MUB489, 6BXE9, I can't see this one, 916. Group stalking via El Pollo Loco drive-through. 90563C2. The state thought it was like so clever. All right, this is how they're stalking, creating light activity and relevant positioning. And all they had to do was be in a drive-through, and all the elements are present. Understand that. And the fake sun is right over me as I'm on the property, like the El Pollo Loco property. 8C65073. That's audible activity by a car horn as I'm over here getting the drive-through. Group stalkers. 7MQA204. 90563C2, in case I didn't read that one. They're group stalking and monitoring at Starbucks at 706 West Holt Boulevard, okay? That's what they're doing right now in relevant position through the drive-through, just like I documented for a prolonged period while I was inside of that venue. They're monitoring right now while I'm across the street, all right? This group stalker, and if she's not an American citizen, she's gonna be deported. All right, this is 8EJ8546. 5GRE400. Group stalking using their vehicle for lights, 5ZGT189. Understand how this conduct is facilitating United States Postal Service across the street from me to be able to monitor with communication devices. They are one group. All right? They're one group. This is 5ZQR160. Okay, so I didn't read that one. It is currently 2:09 p.m. 6VGG804, 6WGT118, 7KRX529, 8ETU684, 6TUW230, 8FNW102, 7FVS601, 6ZFT010, 6FPF912, 4BXV935, 4SXH842, 8GQW140, 6UMY593. 6506 2C2, 8VHK477, 8BPZ458. All right, in the Starbucks where they are monitoring, the particular one, the Starbucks in particular, understand that's nothing but a venue providing an example of how the people of the state of California are monitoring systematically. All right, in the same way that the fake sun is demonstrating how the people of the state of California are monitoring systematically. 7UVR333. Your everyday grocery store is not your everyday grocery store where the state's pattern of conduct is underway. Starbucks, the brand of America, monitoring American citizens, sexually violating American citizens, as I documented at 706 West Holt Boulevard. Starbucks, monitoring right now. Okay, that is the particular address of that venue, but Starbucks in general, understand that brand, that company is inextricably linked to this sexually violent criminal conduct by government. 8CNV323, 8GIZ969, 7G68554, 6NDR125, 7XAW350, 7XAW350, 7EBX992, LAFC17, loitering in relevant position on the opposite side of the parking lot now, 6USM866, 7ERN888, using his children in the vehicle with him while he's group stalking and sexually violating an American citizen. That is abuse of an unprecedented level when you're monitoring with the government. So all of that's going against the people while they're monitoring and sexually violating and group stalking and engaged in surveillance of an American citizen. All of that's going to be prosecuted. 63107F3. Omnitrans in relevant position directly behind me as they're sitting at a traffic light formed for stalking in the path in alignment to me while I'm standing in the parking lot. And the fake sun is no longer in front of the entrance. It's right over my head while I'm standing right here in front of 658, which is Miss Donuts. All right, that's how you engage in group stalking. That's what AMR was doing at the traffic light at Holt and Euclid while I was on the sidewalk and the state flew over my head in a helicopter. That's group stalking conduct. 7VPX897. 4ZMT792. Okay, that's P.O.C. And it is 2:12 p.m. (6506 2C2). I mean, impossible light activity is reflecting upward from what is that? So you've got his back rim and there's light that is beaming upward from the back rim on his car. That's the state's light. But this is how ridiculous it is. Anyway, he starts his ignition as I approach. He's creating light activity. He's creating audible activity. And he does so as I approach pursuant to the behavioral pattern, acting with 5GCP904. And again, let me give you this. This is the demonic activity, 6506 2C2. How you even have that light activity on your car, I don't even understand. But if that's not an American citizen, he's going to be deported. P.O.C. 7TXN747, AB641. That's a handicap plate. 63107F3. 7DEZ884, 8MOE969, 8NTK353, 6RDU961, 6TYB853, 7GME654, 7E87401. It's 2:13 p.m. So now I'm walking in the parking lot, and this is my walking 7SVL813. Light activity using their vehicle, right? While the state's fake sun is over my head now, okay? So the state's fake sun is over my head as I'm walking in movement, moving what is east in the parking lot. Bra covering up the front license plate of this vehicle, a red SUV. License plate 7YJF019, 8NHM001, 7KGW526, 7AEH802, in case I didn't read that one. K3 Heart 4EVR, in case I did not read this one, 8NHM001. Sounds familiar though. Another one, using their vehicles as I cross path, 7KGW526. They're just group stalking in their car. This is how they do it, especially because I'm on foot. All right, 7WRM151. And the fake sun is over my head. So this is the removal of any coincidence, the removal of any claim of idly being present as a private citizen. No, you're not. The entirety of that environment is prosecuting you. And that is how the government is monitoring. And you're looking at what is demonic activity. 3EOE567, 7EIU727, 6PDM672, 6BOG241, 5MMS365, 8TNE752, 6RFA982, 8DEM060, 6UIY269, 7TVF585, 6ZFT010. Let me get this group stalker who's walking toward and then walks back. 7MYR611, 8FPC973, 7THV585, 47195M2. Ontario Village Shopping Center. That is inclusive of everyone inside of this venue, which is still isolating the P.O.C. to a particular venue because monitoring with communication devices spans beyond this shopping center. 7KMG441, 5CEE662, 5KFS893, 6RLW406, paper BD27X06, 7NNA993, 7DIG460, 4ZK7663, 6KKD455, 6NMN951, I might have got that one already, 7WLA040, 6NDR125, 6XXG690NOLAGYL, 8JAE950, 7VCJ591, CKG9190, that's a Texas plate, 8BAF575, 7MMC847. Using the vehicle as a means of light, that's 8BAF575. 5XRW633, 6AAF738. And it is 2:17 p.m. And the state's fake sun again over my head as I stand at what is Bonita and the driveway for the Ontario Village Shopping Center. So Holt Boulevard is, from where I'm staying from the driveway, Holt Boulevard is south of me, about 30 feet away, and I'm standing right here at Bonita. This is where the fake sun has been documented before, remaining as I remained outside of Panda Walk, right? And I documented the states. This is in December 2020. I'm actually in the process of uploading that, or putting it in sequence, actually, because it's already published. But I'm putting it in sequence such that there is no mistake about the state's pattern of conduct as I have revealed it. And you're looking at it day by day by day, that documentation speaking to the totality of that criminal act that the state's engaged in, as I was thorough enough to capture it and document it, and you're seeing it on a daily basis. That demon, which is not fleeing anything, let me get its partner. 5WZY113. Even using the acceleration as a means of audible activity. And they're creating light activity moving under the fake sun. 7ZXJ727. So, and I documented this as I remained at Panda Walk which is documentation against the Ontario Village Shopping Center. But again, my goal is to isolate. You're looking at what the state was doing with its light source. This is documented conduct, which is what is alleged to be the sun. And you are alleging it's the sun because it's in the sky and it's remaining everywhere I'm at. So that's the position of the government. That's what you did. And then look at everything else that you did. It's not isolated. It's all together. That's the sun on that day at that time for that remain. Okay. Got you. And every other place where I've gotten it as well. 7DIG 460. That's what the state is doing. That's what the state has done. And that's exactly what I captured. And this is the state's fake sun at 2:19 p.m. In that position. And as I captured Ontario Village Shopping Center on in December of 2020, as I captured, I was just documenting the state on this day, where the state was flying over by helicopter and airplanes, and keeping its fake sun literally over the building where I am at, aiming directed light all over the building. It was already present at the venue at early in the morning. And early in the morning today, I was at the museum. But I've also been at other places early in the morning, and the state's fake sun was bam right there over my head. This is the impossibility of that. I'm just speaking to what I've already documented against that venue, undoubtedly engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, as again I have already established, but I'm going to continue to be thorough as I am prosecuting the people of the state, closing every question, which understand there reasonably isn't any question, but being one who has the legal training, understanding that I'm going to cross every T and dot every I, and speak to what is the overall point that I continue to make. 7GTB 446 4311982, 7VGD 392, 8SDR 955, 5FGB 298, 7EUK 220, 7VLF 7VLF 441, 8V76109, 6SXT 564, 7BSX 869, 8SMH 941, group stalking and monitoring with this third party who is parked on the side of the street in alignment to me on the sidewalk. This is the stalking conduct by the people anticipating my arrival, and as they're patrolling around, he is monitoring while he is stationary with his vehicle and the headlights are on facing my direction. He is at MGM Auto Sales with the car on the sidewalk in alignment to me. He's monitoring. They're one group. As I'm reading those license plates, they're one group. He's just remaining stationary in a black BMW. This is license plate 944 ZB, I believe, or 7B. It's a handicap plate. Engaging in abuse, monitoring with children in the vehicle. This is license plate 7RZM896 at MGM Auto Sales. What's your audible activity? What? What's your audible activity? Were you talking to me? Were you talking to me? What are you squaring up against the female? Are you gangster for that? This is monitoring by the people, 7RZM896. I'm sorry, there's nothing gangster about being a stalker or about squaring off in front of a female. You're not, Satan. You lose. You're pathetic. Go put some pants on. Nobody wants to see your thighs. Nobody wants to see your thighs. Nobody wants to see your thighs, fatty. Nobody. Nobody wants to see it. Like you're some gangster. That's audible activity by a coward. Engaged in abuse, monitoring with children, 8VXZ367, 6DTM370. All of them monitoring me to that harassing audible activity. That's P.O.C. Five ZGT 189, 5WQH 174, 14936R1, 5BJJ 011. 8ULA 064, 7CVH 084, 8KHH 900, 7XJK 220, 8VVH 157, 8RMM 584, 7R 79572, I believe, 8UQR 366, 6LEW 383, 16595B1, 8HHN 934, 8HZM881. That's what cracks me up about Satan. Entirely focused on me. This is already established. You're a stalker. You are entirely focused on me. All right. And then hostile because I'm pointing you out as a stalker and the psychopath and the sex offender you are. You are. I'm not making it up. I don't think anyone could make this sort of thing up. And this is why documentation is absolutely necessary. And let me capture the state's fake sun over me while that third party group stalker who is not helping 48457J2 all right? And should have just remained quiet while the state's fake sun is over him. He's monitoring me. It's 2:23 p.m. State's fake sun nowhere possibly near being over the entrance of Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt. It is moving back up Holt Boulevard, over my head, right? After remaining at that venue as I walk around the venue over my head. That's P.O.C. Let me get a picture of that right now. Okay, and this is how you're going to silence third-party group stalkers. And they go down as a group. They sexually violate as a group. Let me get a picture of that because this is loitering in relevant position. That's the fat one with shorts on, which nobody wants to see that. Creating audible activity as he's acting like, what? Knows exactly what I'm saying about his criminal activity. And here's the fake sun directly over me. That's P.O.C. 6H56350. And let me point something else out while I stand here speaking. My voice is echoic. I'm not on a microphone. The state has a microphone applied to where I'm at. 7KVX 663. 7RZW 456. 8FKR 645. It's 2:24 p.m. and that group stalker driving off from after loitering in relevant position in front of MGM Auto Sales that is closed. I don't even see it open. He's just loitering on the sidewalk. That's what the group stalkers do. That's what they do. Maintaining path at nighttime, doing that, lining the path with light, and then engaging in harassment while I document him. 7D83569, 8HJC173, 7BPT442, 7RUA967, 5MEG849, 117ST handicap plate, 12779X2, 7RUC326, 8FPF 1015, excuse me, 8VRP650, 40150Z1. You hear that random bang in the background? That's called audible activity. Nobody is visibly present. I don't see anyone, all right? The state is maintaining noise level as I'm walking down the street. And the fake sun is over my head. There is no idle activity, in other words, idle noise that's occurring that is not serving the pattern of conduct. The intent is derived from the fact that a fake sun is over my head, okay? Everything that's occurring around is the maintenance of that fishbowl as they are monitoring. 7FVS601. 5HWB338. 5ERJ909. I am at Vine and Holt, and traffic cameras are also here. It's 2:26 p.m. Approaching in relevant position 8UZT848. And 8HOA165. 7PWD559, 5FIP627, 19111C2, 19111C2, 47322R2, 5Y18263, 8JAK308, 6SPC863, 7XIP276, 8GHB986. EJS217, 7CSK177, 8PSL269, 6HRY211, 7RUS400, 9005-1H2, 8UOE088, 8UNE344, MMZ 8096, that's Texas, 8ECR226, 6BIU298, 6WJY666, 5VXU787, 6CJA787, 6MLK662, 6UXA372, that's a paper plate, scratch that one, 5GYC839, 6NFC080, back at third-party facilitating venue, 322 Holt Boulevard Car Wash. At the intersection of Fern and Holt, group stalkers on the street using their vehicles as light, group stalking in their car. Let's just go on ahead and document them. IRAMY. Not only is this venue, it's a facilitating venue, but I'm documenting the third parties who are monitoring with them. All right, 7UKP 388. 7LMJ 375. Paper plate BD 44270. 8SDK 325. Howdy, partner. 7TAP 596. 7B66 334. 8FJD 376. 5RHL 160. 5KRA 728. 8HNM 754. 8HVX 850. 8PXB 149. 6URX 547. 4843 8R2. 8KQY 949. 7DFB 785. 8SPJ 900. 8PEZ 586. 7XMC 863. 6PZS 817. 8HD3 905. 6BFC 979. 8MXC 639. 8LWS 646. 7XDJ 589. 8CRY 622. 7TDH 726. 7UGY 220. 5PJK 592. 8SZT 069. 8EDL 320. 8LFS 554. 7PWJ 463. 8APX 884. State's fake sun right over my head as I stand at Palm and Holt Boulevard reading those license plates. It's directly over my head. Audible activity created by, that is, this is, I believe, a Fiesta Motors property, but it's vacant, and you have them engaging in construction on the building. That's audible activity creation. The state's fake sun is over my head. There is no idle conduct, okay? License plate J133WO. I can't really see that one. This is the same venue where they were acting with the Ontario Police Department, and the utility was out pulling a cord. And understand this is form for creating light activity and stalking in the path, acting with the police. I documented this already, and I believe that is a Fiesta Motors property, I believe. But regardless, they're maintaining presence and creating audible activity. 8UCP 812. 8VXH040. 88692B3. 6CKX411. 8MYY333. It is currently 2:32 p.m. 3WTF 739. 6BIE 883. 8PTK 197. 6UUE 506. 8SGY 250. 8FBN 708. 8FNG 256. 6BFE 316-14332X2. 7PQV 677. 8U87433. 8JLF 350. 8FBU 118. 4BPR 296. 6BLT 216. 8AIX 518. And 6 UUE 506, loitering in relevant position, using their vehicle parking on the side of Sam's Liquor, and using the brake lights as light activity as I read license plates, and replaced with immediately by Group Stalker 8FLH488. Okay, P.O.C. Seven HAE 114 77450A2. That's audible activity. 6GQ8 096. And what do you attribute that to? 31306X1. Let's attribute it to the Ontario Police Department. 7VDN 468. 8KYR 790, 8LIG 860, because they are facilitating and engaging in direct stalking conduct with every last third party that I continue to document. 7RZT 901, 6JGN 447. All right, that's nothing but, it's called activity creation while the fake sun is directly over my head as I stand right here at Laurel and Holt. That is, as I walked what was west of Holt Boulevard, remained at the property, and now I'm walking back east. That's called P.O.C. Right? 4TAE 313, 7UOG 751. Okay? 6JQF 877. And that's how you know, that's also the mark of demonic activity. This entire environment, fake sun, random explosions, and they're just like da-da-da-da-da, like nothing's happening. 5S FM 279, 8NQE 197, 10861 into Dola Inc. Yeah, DOLAINC. 7LJB 634, 7GCL 592, 44585D3, 42292V2, 8MWN 453. 410CZK, that's an out-of-state, 8FIB 894, 7MFG 399, I believe. Can't really see that one. 8VMV 852, letting you know that they're in my path. That was that license plate. Accelerating right as they're crossing path. That's like closing your trunk door as I walk past. It's called activity creation while you're in the path. And it's intentional conduct. The state's fake sun is right over my head. Group stalkers patrolling by on foot. All right, that's another means of engaging in the same exact conduct, crossing path. This is the same license plate, 8BAF 575, the yellow Ford Focus hatchback, driving toward Euclid and Holt Boulevard. I want to be clear, there is still no sun even in the direction of B&G Plaza, of the Ontario Library, Ontario Town Square. It is right here over my head where I stand in front of Rich's Second Jewelry and Loan, across from 123 United States Postal Service at Laurel and Holt, license 5CQS 888, 8SDC 356, 7XMT 036. There is no sun even in that direction. It's right over my head. All right. This is in conflict with everything that I've already documented, where at the same time and in the day, I am at another venue and the state's fake sun is over me at that location. Okay. So this is why I'm speaking to what's ongoing. That's a demon, 6EXC 343, molesting while intentionally creating light activity and intentionally crossing path. P.O.C. It is 2:37 p.m. and all these demons are at the same time are listening to me prosecute them. 6VBE 829. 8UXH 526. Being directly over my head, for example, let me just give you one example. Being directly over my head where I'm standing right now at 2:37 p.m. is impossible to coexist with remaining over the property of Economy and located at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. You cannot both at locations be directly over my head at those same different, distinctly different locations and addresses. And 7HDD 432, 7VRL093, BLKCHER. 76739U1. All of them are focused on me. JHP 1890. At the end of the day, Satan loses and all of his minions lose with him. okay? And this is why you have their focus on me. And by they, I mean the entity. The people represent the entity. The state is the one that's dragging a light source over my head. And 7EOE133 loses. And if they have any children, okay, they pose a danger to American citizens. They pose a danger to any children that they parent or are guardians over. They're sex offenders. They're stalkers of an unprecedented level. And they're closeted psychopaths. And that's what the prosecution is serving. 58669R1, I can't really see that one. You can scratch that. 7ZMP 571. This is nothing that it was ever designed to be found out, if you will, okay? And so engaging in it is a very, very, very serious offense. 8EHC 985, 6Y02730, 7YCZ917, and the implications of it are vast, all right? They're vast. And that's the purpose of federal legislation, by the way. That's the purpose of federal law. And this is going to be mandated under federal policy while they're in violation of existing federal law. I mean, I'm doing one fell swoop for the people that are engaged in monitoring with communication devices and on the internet. 8KOY 503, 8SJZ 471, 7VCH 469. You can't really see that one. You can scratch that. 6XVW 826, 78KN 222, KARIS, I believe. Karis 7Y34870. That's supposed to be the sound of birds that you hear in the background. There are no birds over here. This is no license plate on that big white vehicle. VALURLF 80176A1 8UWV638 4VHL 588. It is 2:40 p.m. And so I'm taking a picture of what is the fake sun that's over my head and the location directly in front of me, to my left and to my right. All right, so as I am standing on what is the intersection of Holt and Laurel, and crossing path is 5DIA 589, the state's fake sun is directly over my head. What is directly in front of me as I am facing south is the United States Postal Service at the address of 123 West Holt Boulevard in Ontario, California. What is to my left, which would be east of me, is the Jackson Hewitt, the Chuck's Cash Money Gram, and this, what is a pawn shop, Rich's Second Jewelry and Loan. What is to my right, which is west of me, that's Sam's Liquor, Lupita's Furniture, Ape Arena Fitness, where the state's fake sun has already been captured at literally every time of the day. 4 in U.S. 037. And this is the impossibility of that actually being the sun. All right, and also what I captured is the state's fake sun being over me at the T-Mobile building at 101 North Euclid Avenue, as I documented as I came from Economy N. All right, and this is the state's fake sun over me on the sidewalk as I'm standing over here. That's just the totality of that documentation. And at the same time, it's supposed to be remaining over, as I clearly captured in substantial documentation, it's supposed to be over me at 435 South Bonneview at Mercy House. Not just over the property, over the door as I stand outside and get the third-party group stalkers flying over my head while I'm at that venue. 5VXB181. That's just Satan communicating hostility while it's monitoring me, acting through these people. This is demonic possession. 4LMX650. Okay, you cannot coexist in that way. I'm talking about the sun. That is not the sun that's over my head at that property. Documented conduct. Documented conduct. That is 8NCJ799, and that's how you know the people are focused on you. They're targeting you. 6TMM665, 85405D2, 6NCN642. 60248N2, 7UGP292, 8JFG106, 8K20458, 7BLR928, 7ROG830, 6NEW809, Omnitrans crossing path, just like every other group stalker, 14483T2, 8NYG267, 7YKM743. You hear the sound of that exhaust as Omnitrans. I'm standing right here at the curb, right? And you're driving past. You're going to hear it. You hear that volume. That is what the state uses. that bus driving while they are on Euclid Avenue at the bus stop 83 for driving northbound while I'm all the way at the museum. Okay, you cannot hear that from that distance. That's what the state does, though. Understand, Omnitrans is not ignorant of that. That's how Omnitrans engages in the state's pattern of conduct, monitoring me while I'm across the street at the Museum of History and Arts. That's Omnitrans engagement in the pattern of conduct. You cannot hear that from that distance. It's amplified in volume while I'm on the property of the museum, sleeping at night, and they are engaging in that pattern of conduct, also engaging in what is harassment, doing that same conduct just to wake me up or something. That's what Satan does. That's what they're doing. And understand that's Satan just operating under the brand of Omnitrans. 6ZHN 840, 8BEU 411, 8MNY 415, 8FYT 014, 7ZTW 602, 8GGW 532. She's going to be deported. 8PLB 284. I don't know. Everybody else is driving by, but she wants to stand here. Let me get 8GGW 532. That's when she looks like she's not from this country. She's going to be deported, or he or she, whatever that is. And understand they are honking while they are creating audible activity. And I just showed you the state's fake sun over my head. They're not being courteous. They're not being polite. They're monitoring. Okay. 8JMW 908. 6PRA 711. The state flying crooked in the sky. The plane is in a posture designed to make a U-turn in the sky as it's flying over 150 East Holt, then flying over Checks Cash MoneyGram, making a sharp turn in the sky. Remaining in relevant position, monitoring as these audible activities created by the people. Fake sun over my head. The same pattern of conduct. 8DXU 645. 8LAS 815. 78502H2. That's OJ Insulation. 8DDZ 966. 5WHG 292, 5909 7W2. Another one comes and replicates that same conduct. 8KHH 900. That same conduct meaning stopping. They're not ignorant about there is a fake sun over my head. And this the reason why they can do that is because I want you to understand how demons act, how they conduct themselves when they don't even have a leg to stand on. Okay, but this is what I'm saying. They know exactly who I am. The fishbowl is being maintained. All right, and they are present in the path, monitoring and acting like they're being polite because they think I'm going across the street. That's what their conduct is designed to illustrate. Okay, they know exactly who I am. They are monitoring me. All right, so that is loitering in relevant position as they do that. That is Amtrak engaging in the P.O.C. All right, that is the state that's flying in another commercial plane that was over the 150 East Holt and over the Checks Cash and making a sharp U-turn. That's the state going nowhere, just stalking, group stalking in the airplane. All right, license Omnitrans crossing path again. 6YYB 805, 8X12188, 41973 handicap, 5HHD 166, 41895B3. 6GIF 469, 7W46963, 7WUV 108, 7FLV 868. It's 2:46 p.m. 8MLH 997. 7VZA 942, 7KGD 926, and what is this? A paper plate BP41D58, 6HPE 041, 5RAA 704, 8DGB 702. It is 2:47 p.m. 8NEB 664, 7JWH 746, 7XOV 103, 8JBN 401, GREKOTG 6PXV 669. 8KOS 646 comes close. And also, you also heard what was state amplifying plane activity. All right. This is group stalking. And let me give you this. That's group stalking. Comes out of the blue. And here's a fake sun right over my head. This is what the people do. That's what they do. While the state is also amplifying plane activity. See, absence of coincidence, and that's a psychopath. That's a psychopath for you. P.O.C. This license plate again, 8KOS 646. 6ZHS013. And let me be clear, the state started amplifying plane activity as I started walking. I stated the time, and then I turned around, I grabbed my carriage and started walking. The state immediately began sounding planes, and then that group stalker whose picture I just took with license 8KOS 646 pulls up next to me. The state's fake sun is movement. It's directly over my head as they pull right next to me. That's what group stalkers do. That's a psychopath. That's demonic activity also. That is, in other words, Satan operating over those stalkers to maintain a presence to engage in criminal monitoring and targeting. 8TJG849. 8FSJ866 6VJS 395 7AUS 716. 8GAU 102. 8JLF 350. And they go inside of third-party facilitating venue Sabor Hondureño. Sabor Hondureño, located at 108 West Holt Boulevard in Ontario, California. 6DBC 829. Seven NWS 491, 5HQK 427, 7KAG 839, 8KIR 857, 8AED 002, 6TSK 149, 5YZA 257, 6BDM 139, 8RET 199, 7N 7R, can't wait to see that one, hold on, 7N 78297, 7ZPY 755. 7GEJ311, 7HRU 599, 4KLD 861, 8DXU 645. Let's see, 6YUR 357, 8EMD 160. Okay, so let me give you another example of what is the impossibility with the state's fake sun. I'm back at the same location where essentially I woke up at the museum. State's fake sun on the opposite side of the street. I'm at the same intersection where I captured minions for a couple hours. And the state's fake sun remained over me. It's just on the opposite side of the street, right over my head. No sun is in the direction of Mercy House, Bonneview. No sun is in the direction of the Ontario Town Square. All right, all that documented conduct with the state's fake sun, though, in conflict with what I'm documenting right now. 7HRU 599, 4KLD 861, 8DXU 645, 80017Y2. It is 7GJB 736 7AIF 931. That was 7GJB 736. Yeah. All right, I just wanted to capture that video. That's what you heard me reciting. Capture the video of the state's fake sun on the opposite side of the same street, in the same location, basically, where I woke up this morning at the museum. All right, and by the way, if I were at Euclid Avenue, 231 South Euclid, Economy Inn. Not even that, what I documented at Mayfair Inn, and what I documented at the Woodside Senior Apartments. Nowhere even close to being possibly maintaining this central location over me. That's the pattern of conduct by the state. All right? The people of the state are stalking and monitoring. The people of the state are targeting you. That's how you reveal that. And it's a malicious system, i.e. it is satanic. And but for documentation, the false narrative is that you suffer some mental illness. That's a psychopath. That's a psychopath. Working at Andy's Burgers, 8WIN369, sex offender. He's got his Andy's Burgers t-shirt on. The one that works, engages in systematic monitoring at the B&G Plaza. Let's see, 8CMY073. I am proceeding to walk, what is this, on Holt Boulevard. I'm walking east on Holt Boulevard at the crosswalk. It is 2:55 p.m. and that is the P.O.C. Sunday, June 6, 2021. This is documentation of criminal defamation. Criminal defamation is a matter of obstruction of justice, which the entity routinely engages in. It is not only that which third parties engage in, but also the state directly engages in. I want to document what is a third-party group stalker, Tracy Banks, at 8:12 p.m. She is in relevant position as I am inside of her vehicle with the license plate 4WON432. The state is stalking with its light source, which I showed before I got into her vehicle, the state's fake sun, in alignment to me where I'm at, the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library, while I'm also inside of her car, and she is engaged in what is criminal defamation. This is, let's break this down, the audible activity that she is creating in relevant position while the state is stalking directly in planes and helicopters by police, fire, and ambulance. And the state is also amplifying the sound of plane activity while I am in her presence. And so this is that is a communication of a threat by the entity that is also acting vicariously through Tracy Banks, who is creating as her audible activity what is in its substance defamation. And under the fact pattern of public entity monitoring and stalking, group stalking, that is called criminal defamation. And it is the audible activity which the people of the state of California are monitoring to. And I also want to document what is the license plate in relevant position while the state is also aiming directed light inside of her vehicle while she is engaged in criminal defamation. And this light activity is that flashing light that is seen on the, I'm sitting on the passenger side in the front seat. And so where the seat belt hangs on the side panel on the passenger side, light is being flashed on that side panel where the seat belt is. So I see this flashing light while she is engaged in criminal defamation, which is her intentional choice to create audible activity, while group stalker with the license plate 7EQV068 is also in relevant position in the vehicle beside. And understand, she is this third party is only one of the entirety of the group that are in relevant position monitoring. And in addition to that, even if I was in, for example, Tracy Banks's home, her private residence, I remain subject to the state's criminal pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. Everything that a third party or state actor is saying to the target individual, to me, is not private. It is subject to ongoing monitoring. Everything that you utter, in other words, where the state is monitoring, is a matter of publication because it is being heard by everyone. It is literally audible activity. And so this is criminal defamation based on its substance, and it is also defamation because it is published in real time as the third party group stalker is making such statements. And I want to be clear with this third party's, the malice with which she engages in conduct. This is the ongoing criminal activity. This is, and again, Tracy Banks with regard to her status. This is speaking to the threat that third parties whom the target individual specifically identifies, meaning you know their name, you might know them professionally, you know them personally, perhaps you were romantically engaged, involved with them. However, you are engaged with third parties who you do not know are monitoring you, okay? So this is a family member All right, this is one who I am blood related to. In other words, this is not a real family member. This is a third party who is monitoring her own daughter, and the substance of the documentation already establishes that the pattern of conduct underway while I am in her presence at all times, including in her home, engaged in criminal summoning. I have already laid it out with regard to who Tracy Banks is and the substance and the malice with which she engages in what is a demonic targeting system. And the fact that she is monitoring her own daughter is speaking to that demonic aspect, okay? That's absolutely wicked conduct. And that unnatural malice is that which is born of Satan. So you need to understand where that's coming from. It's not just mean. It's not just evil. It's not just like unthinkable. How do you turn on your own daughter? It's from hell, okay? This is a satanic system. And I want to speak to what is criminal defamation. That is cooperation. That's criminal obstruction of justice. While the entity is aware of the fact that I am documenting and putting my documentation into order, not only is this serving the purpose of keeping me monitored with communication devices, it is also serving the purpose of a form of harassment, seeking to blame me for what is the financial state that I am in upon becoming aware that the government is monitoring me and engaged in group stalking. And this is that which is reasonably precipitating from a government engaging in that conduct, but you have what is the entity engaging in blaming the targeted individual. That the government is monitoring and engaged in stalking is established. The incredible methods that the entity is using to engage in that criminal system are established. And these are the circumstances under which the entity is engaging in defaming that targeted individual. And this is 822, where you hear plain activity at Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. These are the circumstances under which Tracy Banks is engaging in criminal defamation, acting pursuant to the state's pattern of conduct. And so I want to be clear on that. That was documented at 8:12 p.m. while I'm in her presence, and the state is monitoring me to that audible activity that she is creating. This is that which is a matter of what is criminal obstruction of justice while she is also engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. This is also how the people, that is the people of the state of California, which she represents, who she is acting in concert with vicariously on behalf of the state, who you hear flying over at the library at 8:22 p.m. This is that which is also designed to threaten. She's stating that it's my fault, that I am the one that wants to be homeless, that I am the one that has put myself in this situation. This is all relevant to prosecution and punishment, okay? While she is monitoring, and understand she is not acting individually, she's acting with the entity that you hear in the background. That's both Amtrak and the state. And understand, Amtrak is merely the guise under which the state is creating activity, okay? Amtrak may or may not actually even be in motion on the train tracks. It's audible activity. It's going to be criminally assigned to Amtrak because that is the train track that is nearest this location, which, by the way, you are not going to hear in motion at the library. But this is the means whereby the state is monitoring. The state is doing so also by plain activity, and the state is also doing so as it is intending to engage in what is harassment while it's listening to me document the criminal activity of its vicarious actor as the people act through Tracy Banks, okay? So want to speak to that. That's a documentation as to what is criminal obstruction of justice, documented again at 8:12 p.m. as I am in her vehicle subject to the P.O.C. and aware of it and just documenting what is the legal substance of the audible activity that is coming out of her face. That is P.O.C. License 4S and X398, Ontario Police, vehicle number 1753, license 1360906, license 8NY6021. This is just a document as I'm walking from the Ontario OVITT Family Community Library. Want to be clear, Amtrak, again, engaging in incessant use of what is supposed to be the train sounding, incessant use for the series of hours that I sit on the side of the library, including as the state was flying over my head again at 9:38 p.m. in helicopter. License plate 6AIM082. All right, they are patrolling in traffic, and that was Ontario Police in relevant position, crossing path, the same directed light conduct, and so I'm just documenting who's engaging in the criminal elements. The state, but as I captured in the video at around 7 last night, the state flies directly over my head again in helicopter, flying over the Metro 1 and 2 apartments. So this is waiting for my arrival, waiting for me to walk, flies directly over my head, flying over the Metro 1 and 2. So as I am walking toward the museum, that is, as I am walking south, on Lemon Avenue, the state flies in a helicopter heading west, directly over my head, flying over Metro 102 Apartments, which is speaking to what Metro 102 Apartments, a third-party facilitating venue, is engaged in. 22984L2. Third-party group stalker, a Latino male with black shoes, black jeans, they're Levi jeans, and a black hoodie. He's on the traffic cameras. He's at the crosswalk. He's monitoring with the state and possible light activity all along the brick wall as well. He has facial hair, like a mustache, and like a high top, grease top hair. He's monitoring with 22984L2, who does have a license plate. All right, and the state is flying around in a circle over the intersection. And who else is monitoring with the state? That's 8WBN365, 8UDV302. And let me be clear, the people engaged in ongoing sexual violence today as the state continuously flashing my person with light, 7RGW781, 7TOP355, while I'm sitting on the side of the library, which I spoke to in the video that I captured, which you want to pay attention to as well. I captured what is the fake sun directly over where I'm at, in alignment to where I'm standing at the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. Very, very far from being over me at the 60 freeway, which is what I spoke directly to. And that is the state that is molesting with light, Amtrak engaging in what is federal level harassment and sexual violence while the state is touching with light. Understand, light is a criminal weapon based on the nature of the crime of monitoring with communication devices. This is license plate. I can't really see that one. Let's get these third parties. All of them are sex offenders. They're all touching the state's directed light at 9F60324 8NNE244. The state is molesting with light, directed light, and they are touching with their headlights. Okay, and that is, understand, the people. What the state does directly prosecutes the people. The state's flying over my head in a helicopter again. All right. This is daily conduct, though, but I'm just speaking to. This is going to the prosecution and speaking to every criminal act that the people are perpetually engaged in. So they are engaged in a ceaseless sexual violence, ongoing molestation. The many ways that they are engaged in sexually violent conduct. 7RQB664, AX9856. I can't really see that one. And as the state flies over my head by helicopter, that is the people of the state engaging in that threatening violence. That's a threat to your life while you're sexually molesting, while you're stalking and engaged in surveillance. That's what the people are engaged in. All right. That is 8HLN045, 8VMW049, BSBL42, 4HBV836. Let's see, who is this? License 2040508 on a large truck trailer. And that looks like an out-of-state plate. It is currently 9:45 p.m. I just want to document that. This is while the state is monitoring what is my documentation that I continue to publish on my website and place into sequence on my podcast. And this is why Amtrak is engaged in, well, it's not why. Amtrak is a psychopath operating through none other than a company identification. This is the personification of Satan as it is operating a targeting system, acting directly in concert, representing the state, acting with third parties, enabling the people of the state. So Amtrak, as a commercial actor, engaging in what is criminal facilitation of federal group stalking and monitoring, federal level harassment, sexual violence, and criminal obstruction of justice. The same method of activity used to monitor on the venue of the internet that is relevant to the existing federal law as the third party. I'm sorry, that's a state actor. Amtrak is a state actor. The state actor is engaging in that same method of audible activity creation pursuant to what I'm doing both online and what I am doing while the people of the state monitor in relevant position engaged in surveillance with that entity. That flew over my head again at 9:38 p.m. 8RGM622, 7PIN412, 8NAG827. And it is 9:46 p.m. And the state is flying over this intersection, like I capture every night, just like you saw on May 5th, May 5th, 2021, just like I captured this morning. All right, the state was flying over Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and the state was flying over me where I stood at this same intersection. The state is flying over right now. Okay, and why? Because they're all monitoring. And the state just flew over my, like I said, this is daily conduct, but I'm just going clear because they're going to be prosecuted for every single one. License 8GOY016. All right, so that's just speaking to the ongoing sexual assault that people are engaged in, the ongoing threat as the state is flying over my head as I'm walking from the library. All right, that's the absence of coincidence as well, which I've already readily established. But again, 2 days in a row, that's not a coincidence. That's the criminal conduct of the people of the state. 8 ADN 353, molesting with light 6 YIX 568, 8 SDB 508. Meeting me at the corner, molesting with light. This is a stalker and a sex offender who is also engaged in threatening the life of the one whom he or she is monitoring. This is a psychopath, and if they have any kids, that's relevant to the prosecution. That is 6LGK048, 6LGK048, that's P.O.C. Group stalker on a bike, seen on the traffic cameras. He's got on a black leather jacket. He's got 2 bags on both sides of his handles on his bike. He's standing at the crosswalk, looks like a old Latino male with long hair, sunglasses hanging on the top of his head, and hair hanging off of his face like a mustache. He is at the crosswalk that is headed toward the opposite side of HOLT Boulevard. So going what is west at the crosswalk. Monitoring, staring at his communication device. He's monitoring with 8 REK240. They're all monitoring with communication devices. 8 GDK183, 8 DYR483. That male walks away from the crosswalk now. Oh, he's pressing the button again, okay? All he's doing is monitoring, and he's just doing it without a license plate. They're all one party monitoring together. It is 9:48 p.m. All right, and these are the parties who are directly present. They are one group, but those are the ones who are directly present while the state is flying over my head in a helicopter at 9:38 p.m., okay? And ongoing assault and sexual molestation with light while I sit on the side of the library. I want to document that because I did speak to I did speak to that in the video, but what I did not mention is at 4:15 p.m. and again at the noted time. Let me get these license plates real quick, and then I will speak to what the state was engaged in, which I already captured in video, but it also occurred again while I'm speaking to, and it's good that I captured, I'm sorry, not on video, I captured it on my podcast. 8:41 p.m. and 4:15 p.m. The state creating what sounds like an explosion. 8 VHK 991, 7 NOD 629. That's at 4:15 p.m. and that is at 8:41 p.m. You heard it on my podcast while I was standing at the intersection of Laurel and HOLT Boulevard, and the state's fixed fin was directly over my head. That's called activity creation. It is also called what is harassment, and it is also called waging a threat while you are monitoring, and that is the people. As I'm reading their license plate, they're engaged in that crime. They're acting with the state. That same explosion heard at the library where I sat at 4:15 and again at 8:41 p.m. State engaged in ongoing molestation and assault and harassment using its criminal instrument of light, impossible light, that's the state's directed light, and flying over my head in a helicopter, which you can hear. Oh, stop sounding it. Okay, but the state is flying directly over. I'm looking right up at it as I'm on the property grounds of the museum. That is P.O.C. It's 9:50 p.m.